Welcome to Charlotte Motor Speedway, NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. It's the North Carolina Education Lottery 200. So great to see the sunshine here at Charlotte Motor Speedway after a couple of days of rain. And in regards to the trucks, well, they did get a little bit of practice time, but weather certainly interrupted the schedule. 3 practices were scheduled on Thursday. They got in about an hour's worth. But today, it's been pretty nice here so far. Temperature, as you see, in the low 70s. The humidity still high, and it's nice to see it down out of the mid-90s, though, like we've had in the past couple of days. Michael Waltrip and Phil Parsons alongside. And we are excited for the 6th race of the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series, and it has been a terrific season so far. 5 races and 5 different winners, including the 9 truck of William Byron, just 18 years old. He's been one of those that have taken it to victory lane. Of course, Hermie Sadler and Caitlin Vincey with us down on pit road. 32 trucks, and welcome along. And guys, I think if the All-Star that we saw, the showdown that we saw, is any indication of what we're going to see in this truck race, fans aren't going to want to go anywhere, because that was thrilling, and we expect nothing less with the trucks.
And don't be surprised. Remember last year, Casey Kane won by about the same margin that we saw just now in the showdown. So great racing here at Charlotte. A lot of unknowns. Michael, we practiced at night. We were going to race at night, and we're going to race during the day.
Well, isn't that just perfect for what we've got here? This Goodyear tire that they brought for these trucks is so fast. These guys are running speeds like they've never run here before. And we saw what inexperience will do for you when you have a race. Just go for it. You got to bang off somebody. You got to slip your slide. You do whatever you got to do to get to victory lane. William Byron, 18 years old, is going to graduate from high school next week. And today he's going to be driving a truck at over 180 miles an hour. We have such talented young racers in this lineup. But Phil, over half of them have never raced a truck here before. That means it's going to get exciting.
Yeah, and I just have to give the nod to the veterans too. The guys like Kyle Busch, Matt Crafton, Johnny Sauter, the people that have been here so many times. They've been in so many of these mile-and-a-half races. But William Byron has over 100 of his classmates here for this race today.
And one of those classmates is my daughter Macy. So she's in the grandstands cheering for her favorite driver, William Byron. And Caitlin, who have you caught up with down there on pit road?
I've caught up with Tyler Reddick, getting ready to do some driver intros here. Talk to me about what you've seen out of your 29 trucks so far this weekend. I know we didn't get a whole lot of practice time in.
Well, obviously, really happy to see the sun come out here today. We're starting 6th in our Careers for Veterans, Cooper Standard Ford, and just really glad someone's coming out. A lot of people probably didn't think it was going to happen, but if we were going to run today, I was really hoping that we were going to have some sunshine and get a little more heat and really see how these soft tires wear out.
And I know you've got some things, special things going on with Cooper Standard. Explain that to me.
Well, yeah, we were going to have 350 people come out yesterday, and I hope a lot of them came back. We had 4 veterans come out as well. And obviously, the Careers for Veterans program has gotten a lot of veterans working for Cooper Standard, giving a lot of people who have served and been in the military as soon as they get back home a job. And I really love what they're doing. They've been able to increase their workforce, their veteran workforce, by 16% since 2014. So my first year with Careers for Veterans, it's a really great program that they have, and I'm hoping that I can get my truck to victory lane and get a victory for those guys and everyone else.
All right, well, best of luck to you. Tyler Reddick starting 6th for today's race. Hermie.
Well, Johnny Sauter, we had a little bit of practice, but it was a couple days ago at night. So any idea what to expect when they drop the rag?
No, not really. The other night, obviously I think the speeds were faster than we all thought they were going to be. I know our Water Pulse Chevrolet was way faster than I thought, from what I remember running here in the past, but conditions were perfect. And obviously today, you take a look around, the sun's peeking out. So grip will be a premium, and always is at this place. It's a tough place. It changes a lot. Everybody talks about that. And if I was a betting man, I'd say guys that were maybe a little bit tight the other night will probably find themselves a little bit loose to start this race.
That's Johnny Sauter. A lot of speed in those GMS trucks Thursday night. I hope they can repeat that today.
Well, and Johnny Sauter is one of those drivers that's already been to victory lane. He has secured one of those wins that will put him in the chase. We expect, doesn't guarantee a spot, but for all intents and purposes, he has a secured position in that final 8 to run for the championship. Sauter, Nemechek, William Byron, and Matt Crafton are winners. This is how Johnny Sauter got that win. He didn't take long to do it. Did it the season opener at Daytona.
Yeah, brand new tee for him, GMS Racing, and what a start to the season. This is right towards the end of the race. Watch Christopher Bell, that Ford truck, upside down, tumbling down the front straightaway.
What a crazy crash. What a crazy race it was in Daytona. And, you know, all season long, guys, we've seen intense action just like this. Creeping across the checkered flag to get the checkered flag at Daytona is much different than we usually see, but Johnny Sauter will take it.
And Johnny hasn't had much success since, so he's really thankful to get that win to start the season. And one of the others that have been to victory lane this season is William Byron, and he's standing by with Hermie.
Well, thank you, Vince. And I think you'll like this. A winner in the Camping World Truck Series, William Byron. Now, a win on a mile-and-a-half racetrack in Kansas, but this is a completely different animal. Did you get enough laps on Thursday night to tell what you need?
I think just enough. The track conditions are going to be totally different during the daytime here. It's going to be slick. There's going to be moving around and a lot of sliding around. So we'll see what happens. We have one of the best in Kyle Busch in this race, and hopefully we can keep up with him with our Liberty University Tundra.
That's William Byron. He'll start up front here at Charlotte.
Well, the last time we were on a mile-and-a-half, it was at Kansas Speedway, and William Byron scored his win that night.
Yeah, really critical in this late restart. You see Daniel Hemrick, the 19 truck, had a run at him. Look at they're 3 wide below him. He lost the lead here getting in turn number 1, but this race isn't over yet.
Yeah, a charge down into the last turn by Ben Rhodes. He tries to go inside of Sauter. They crash, and look at William Byron. Heads up, cranks it to the bottom, and drives to victory lane.
There's another view right there. Johnny Sauter's truck actually blubbered a little bit down the backstretch. That's why he lost his momentum.
His float bow's overloaded.
They did.
And that's not good. That's a bad thing.
Bad thing.
It was a good thing for William Byron, though. 18 years old, celebrating. It was just his 5th start of the Camping World Truck Series, and he parked it in victory lane. Here are the 5 winners we've had so far this season. Kyle Busch, the man right there in the middle, will be in this race today. But remember, he's not championship eligible here in the Truck Series. But those other 4, they're eyeing a spot in the chase, courtesy of those wins.
And isn't that great? That describes the Truck Series. A couple of teenagers and a couple of veterans are going to be in our chase for the championship. We've got youth and experience. Phil, you're taking the experienced guys today. I like the young guys. I want to see one of those kids get another victory.
We're getting ready to get things going here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series coming up. Great to see some blue skies here in Charlotte. It's been a while. Charlotte Motor Speedway, NASCAR Camping World Truck Series getting ready to roll here shortly after a fantastic showdown amongst the Sprint Cup Series stars. Remember, we got a chase in the Truck Series this year for the first time. That will begin September 24th in New Hampshire. If it started today, these are the 8 drivers that would be in.
As we talked about before, top line, guys that have already won. Next guys are the guys highest in points, but we expect that to change a little bit here, too. There's some other guys that haven't won yet or not on that list that we know are going to win.
Here's some guys that are on the outside looking in. And, Michael, I think some of these guys have their eye on a spot in the chase come September.
Yeah, Christopher Bell certainly believes that he's going to be a part of that chase. I think Tyler Reddick, he raced for the championship last year. He's going to be right there. Cameron Haley has been so close to winning so many different times. I think he wins along with Ben Kennedy. Hey, Phil, I'm over 8 people. You better win. You better have some points, too, because we're only going to let 8 people in no matter how many win.
I mean, I think the over-under is 8. You think it's more than 8? I think it may be right 7 or 8.
Well, our most recent winner at Dover was Matt Crafton, and he's a 2-time series champ. He's standing by with Caitlin.
And Vince, he also got his first career truck win at this racetrack. What's it take to win at Charlotte, Matt?
Today's going to be very different. I'm actually looking forward to the race today because it's going to be such a huge difference from when we practice. We've always practiced during the day and raced at night, and we practiced and it was a lot cooler. Under our normal race conditions would be at night. Now we're going to race during the day, so it's going to throw everybody for a huge loop. I think you're going to see great side-by-side racing, and everybody's going to be spread out. Hopefully Junior and these guys made all the right changes on this Menards Toyota Tundra.
Yeah, I know we didn't get a lot of practice in, but based on what you've seen out of your 88 truck, how you feeling about possibly getting a second Charlotte win?
If you'd asked me that yesterday afternoon, not very good, but like I said, I know I got the best guys in this business. They'll make all the right changes. We did it at Dover, weren't very good in practice, and made all the right adjustments and put ourselves in position at the end.
All right, thank you, Matt. Best of luck to you. He's starting 17th for today's race, guys.
Well, let's go back to last week at Dover, when Matt Crafton finally found his way to victory lane. He had to hold off Daniel Suarez from the Kyle Busch Motorsports team to do it.
And Suarez was charging. He got a line down low on the track on the bottom and was able to close right in on Crafton. Crafton just adjusted his line, his experience you talked about, Phil, enabled him to drive straight to victory lane and do those burnouts that are all so much fun.
Matt had been to every race at Dover since we started in 2001, and that was the first time he'd been to victory lane there.
He'd led a lot, but crashed a lot. That's been one of the tracks that he didn't do well on, and he put all that in his rearview mirror.
When you see what he's done this season, of course, that win that we just looked at Dover, but 4 top 10 finishes, and what isn't listed on there is mentor. He's the role, fills that role very nicely as a 2-time champion, a mentor to drivers like this young man, Rico Abreu. Hermie?
Yeah, Rico, pretty good practice session for you guys. Now, your teammate and friend, Matt Crafton, said grip is going to be at a premium, and you guys are going to be all over this racetrack. You ready to get this thing done after a couple days of waiting?
Yeah, we've been sitting around eating a lot of food in the haulers this weekend, so I'm excited. It's going to be our first day race, you know, on a 1.5 miles. The temperatures are up. Everyone practiced, worked on their trucks for a night race, rained all night. So now we're racing in 70-degree weather here in Charlotte, North Carolina. So we got a fast, safe, light autoglass Toyota Tundra, and I think as long as we just log laps and be there at the end of this thing, we'll have a solid finish.
That's Rico Abreu. He'll roll off 10th today, Vince.
Hey, Vince, this track is so weather sensitive, too, so these teams are nervous. Anytime it heats up, it changes dramatically. These teams know that they've got a challenge today.
And we first ran here in 2003, and that's the first time we'll ever race during the day.
Looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. Charlotte Motor Speedway, the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series, the North Carolina Education Lottery 200.
Just a glorious night in Concord, North Carolina.
Breaking news with our front row. Eric Jones qualified second, but he drops to the back after missing the driver's meeting. And then there's Casey Kane. Unapproved adjustments after qualifying. We're underway here in Charlotte. Jones now in the 9th position, 6 laps complete.
Yellow's out. Pancaked up top, 1 and 2.
They were coming to the white flag.
Time to settle it here tonight under the lights. Green flag back out. On the inside is Casey Kane. Up through the gearbox. Trying to get away is Eric Jones. Absolutely side by side. Here they come. Back to the stripe. To the checkered flag. Wheel to wheel they bump. Across the line it shows Casey Kane over Eric Jones by 5/1,000ths of a second.
One driver's glory is another's pain. How happy Casey Kane was that night and how frustrated Eric Jones. Oh, that was tough. We hope it's going to be just as close today, and one of those that might be in the mix is standing by with Caitlin.
And that driver would be Timothy Peters. Timothy, we practiced Thursday, cooler temps in the evening. Now, harsh sun of the day. How do you think that's going to present some challenges for you guys?
I think it's going to put it back behind the steering wheel. There's going to be a lot of slipping and sliding for sure. Basically, we've never raced here in the day, so it's kind of an educated guess, but Shane and other guys have really worked hard from the data that we had on Thursday night for today, and I know these guys made the best adjustments for our Red Horse Tundra, and we may be starting 20th, but we look at it as only a number, so we hope we can get in victory lane.
All right, well, best of luck to you guys.
I think it's interesting, and Michael, you touched on it, and Timothy addressed it there. A couple of different drivers have, how this track is so temperature sensitive.
Everybody's happy to see the sun, except for the race car drivers. I mean, they're terrified by what this track's going to be like. I can promise you this, they all know, and Timothy Peters said it, it's going to be slippery.
And they think there'll all be more passing, too, because there's to be some goers and comers. We've got a lot of great trucks starting outside the top 15.
We've raced here in the trucks 13 times previously. All 13 of those races have been at night. No data, no notebooks to look at. Going to find out here shortly.
NASCAR's backyard.
Trucks always put on quite a race here in Charlotte. It's a home game.
These regulars have been on it.
One. Test of human endurance. Gentlemen, start your engine.
They are wheel to wheel. Huge crash behind it. Turn number 2.
Excitement goes through the crowd.
Power to the outside. Here they come, back to the start-finish line. It's going to be a photo finish, sliding sideways at the line. Casey Kane wins it in Charlotte.
5/1,000
second. Unbelievable.
Better late than never. A little rain didn't bother Noah, and it won't stop us either. It is the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series from Charlotte Motor Speedway, North Carolina Education Lottery 200. We've had 5 different winners in 5 races. Most recently, Matt Crafton, the 2-time series champ. He won last week, but struggled in the only practice session here at Charlotte. High school senior William Byron hasn't yet graduated, but he has been to victory lane. Can the 18-year-old do it again today? Or maybe it'll be the special day for Spencer Gallagher. Can the consistency of 4 straight top 10s lead to his first career win? But first, any and all will have to deal with the master. Kyle Busch, the all-time leader in truck wins, looks to add to his record total today. Veterans, rookies, winners, chasers, we've got it all today here in Charlotte. Time to go trackside for pre-race ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that you please rise and remove your hats as the Harrisburg Fire Department Honor Guard presents our nation's colors. Please remain standing as Motor Racing Outreach Chaplain Nick Terry offers our invocation.
Let's pray. Father God, today is a day that you have made, and we rejoice in that. We turn to you with thankful hearts for the sun that's peeking through the clouds, for the men and women who have served and are serving for our freedom. God, we thank you for the opportunity to race today. I pray for each and every competitor that you would protect them, surround them, and keep them all safe today. And we ask these things in your name. Amen.
Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome contest winner of the Share a Coconut Song Superstar Tour, presented by Coca-Cola, Walmart, Sprint, and Charlotte Motor Speedway. From Concord, North Carolina, Kayla Watson.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Let's hear it one more time. Late arrival.
The weather has made us wait, but the anticipation is almost over. The command is next. Beautiful. North Carolina Education Lottery 200. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Race number 6 of the season. We've had 5 winners in 5 races, and well, there's a lot of drivers that like to add their name to that list as we get ready to go. But along with Michael Waltrip and Phil Parsons, Michael, half the field today has never raced in a truck here at Charlotte before. That creates a little uncertainty.
Well, a guy starting on the front row, 18-year-old William Byron, he has hundreds of laps here on the quarter mile in the infield. He's never challenged these high banks, but man, you wouldn't have known that by Thursday evening's practice session. That 9 truck, Liberty University Toyota, was the fastest cat in town. Speeds are really up here at Charlotte, but you can see the conditions are benign. The sun's not shining. The track is cool. For a rookie, that means he can get it done. Another young man that was fast, Spencer Gallagher. This will be his 41st Truck Series race. He got a second at St. Louis a year or so ago, but this track is going to be so much different for him when we dig down into the corner for the first time. These guys are going to be all over the place.
You know, I may have agreed with you that the young guys were going to be really, really good. last night. But the fact that we're going to race during the day, I think is going to tilt the advantage to the veterans. We've got guys like Matt Crafton. 8 of his 12 career wins have come on mile and a halves, including right here at Charlotte for his first career win. There's Matt's truck right there. Junior Joyner is really excited that this race is going to run during the day. And then how about a guy maybe by the name of Kyle Busch? He's pretty good on these mile and a halves. He's won 22 times in the truck series on the mile and a halves. Between Matt Crafton and Kyle Busch, they have 30 mile and a half wins. There's 11 wins in the rest of the entire field. And if you give me Johnny Sauter, he's got 5. There's only 6 more. So if you give me Crafton, Busch, and Sauter, you can have those young guys.
You don't want much, do you,
No,
Phil?
not really.
But
No,
I
not
want to
too much.
tell you, Vince, there's going to be some challenges, though, because the way these trucks are set up for nighttime running versus the daytime. We heard a lot of people with intense speed dragging their splitters, the front end of the truck bottoming out in the turns. Did the crew chiefs get that squared away, and did they predict properly how to set up the trucks for these sunny days?
Yeah, so many drivers talked about practicing during the day and racing at night, and then here we are racing during the daytime as you see our 5 winners in 5 races. And of course, 4 of those 5 are all chase eligible. The man in the middle, Kyle Busch, of course, the defending Sprint Cup Series champion. We're about ready to get it rolling. We got to go downstairs and fire those engines.
And now, for the most famous words in motorsports, please welcome your Grand Marshal, winner of the North Carolina Education Lottery Lucky Rewards Zone promotion, Dia Nixon.
Drivers, start your engines!
134 laps. Can anybody beat Kyle? We're going to find out. The North Carolina Education Lottery 200 is next. Despite a couple of days of rain, it has turned into a splendid afternoon at Charlotte Motor Speedway, getting ready for NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. North Carolina Education Lottery 200. Let's take a look at our Camping World track description. Michael?
Just to paraphrase, fast. Those bank turns at 24 degrees means you can really haul down into the corner with these big pickup trucks, run them wide open through the turns, and you can see the front straightaway 1,980 feet long, the back 1,500. This place is very unique and very challenging when they throw the green flag.
Camping World track analysis.
Yeah, let's take a look.
Race analysis.
Yeah, 134 laps, a little bit over 200 miles. Our caution clock will come on at about 39 laps, but we're going to have a competition caution because there's been so much rain since these guys were last on the track. We're going to have that competition caution on around lap 25.
And I'm telling you, Vince, they're going to be looking forward to that competition caution because a lot of these crew chiefs have used simulation and made guesses on their setups because they haven't practiced in conditions like this.
And they gave the teams an extra set of tires. They'll have 4 sets of tires in the pits because of that competition caution.
The lineup was set according to track or practice speeds on Thursday.
Ben Rhodes, we saw him diving for the win at Kansas the last time we were on the big mile-and-a-half track. See what he can do here. There's Cole Custer. This truck won a year ago.
Cameron Haley's been so strong, and there's Matt Crafton back there as well.
My man Brandon Brown, he can wheel that thing. He'll be coming up through the pack. And John Hunter Nemechek, he won on the mile-and-a-half at Atlanta earlier this year.
Got plenty of great looks, including some onboards.
32 trucks. There were 36 trucks here. 4 trucks, unfortunately, did not make this race because of points. We're going to ride along with a couple of guys. Here's John Hunter Nemechek. He's got 2 wins in the series. Both came on mile-and-a-halves, and he will start his Chevrolet from the 21st spot.
Got a long way to go, Phil. Let's hop up in the top 10. This is Tyler Reddick. He's going to be driving the number 29 Cooper Standard Careers for Veterans Ford with his Ford Motorsports onboard camera.
Let's jump up to the top 5. How about let's ride along in that Sirius XM Toyota with Kyle Busch. Kyle will start from the 5th spot. Let's see what he may have to say, what he's thinking right now. Hey, Kyle Busch, Phil Parsons in the FS1 booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, 10-4, Phil, right here.
Kyle, you've won 6 of these things here at Charlotte, but we've never run during the day. What kind of unusual circumstances will that present for you guys today?
It's going to be interesting, that's for sure. You know, normally we practice kind of in the afternoon into evening, and this time around we actually got race time type practice. So, no day practice at all this time around, but, you know, I think if you're loose, you'll be looser. If you're tight, you're going to be tighter. Just less grip overall and more of a handful.
All right, buddy, we appreciate it. Have a good run.
I should be good. I'm loose. I'm ready. I can't wait to watch the trucks go. These things are so entertaining.
You feel fast and balanced, do you?
I feel like I'm right where I need to be.
Well, let's go downstairs. Hermie Sadler and Caitlin Vince here right where they need to be, and we'll begin with Hermie.
Well, Vince, a couple weekends ago at Kansas, William Byron went to victory lane as a rookie for Kyle Busch Motorsports. Now, who could be next to get that done in that organization? Let's look at Christopher Bell in this number 4. Look back to the start of his season, tumultuous beginning to the season. Go back to Daytona. Very end of this race, he gets turned sideways. There you see in the 4. He is on the roof, flipping down the front stretch at Daytona. First time out. Then we head to Atlanta. Teammates get together. The 4, the 51, the 88. Another crash in a race for Christopher Bell. But the last couple weekends, you can see him to start to get it together, to finish these races. Another crash you see right there. The last couple weekends, Dover and Kansas, this team is turning the corner. They are finishing. You see a 4th and a 3rd the last couple races. A lot of momentum. And you guys mentioned the competition caution. I just spoke to crew chief Jerry Baxter. You see him on screen. He said, Hermie, if we had run last night, I was going to get 2 tires on that competition caution. But now they're racing in the daytime. I'm going to have to see where the balance of this truck goes. We'll follow the progress of the 4 truck from the 15th starting position. Caitlin?
Well, Hermie, one Truck Series regular who's still looking for his first win of the year is Tyler Reddick. Now, he's finished top 15 in the last 15 races we've had on mile-and-a-half racetracks. And this team is also coming off their best finish of the season so far, 7th at Dover. But Tyler and I spoke. He said, you know, those finishes are not motivational. What is the fact that we've been able to lead a lot of laps. They've led more laps at this point in the season than they did at this point in 2015. Now, he says he likes coming to Charlotte Motor Speedway. He told me the way you drive this racetrack, you can't drive it like that anywhere else. He said Charlotte is unique. He will roll off 6 for today's race. Vince?
Well, and by this time last season, Tyler Reddick had already won twice. Boy, how nice it would be for that team if they could score that first win of the season here today.
And how about these kids? You think they just watched our Sprint All-Star Showdown, the way those guys went about it, running side by side, 3 wide in the corners? That amazing move by Trevor Bayne. That could have inspired these guys to get after it here.
How about the end of that last segment? There were a couple other young guys there going for that last transfer spot.
Well, our front row, William Byron on the outside. He is our pole sitter. So qualifying was canceled because of rain, but based on Thursday's practice, he will be the control truck.
Been a lot of talk about restarts. We've had a lot of people busted for jumping the restart here. We saw with Ryan Blaney earlier today. Let's keep an eye on this.
You just can't beat William Byron to the start-finish line on the initial start. That's the rule. So Spencer Gallagher, G-man there on the inside, he has to stay behind the 9.
North Carolina Education Lottery 200 from Charlotte Motor Speedway. We are underway. The green flag waves.
Oh, Gallagher spins his tires.
William Byron quickly out front. Reddick looking underneath for second.
That's the 21 of Johnny Sauter right now in that outside, battling for second.
It's a tight draft down on the bottom into turn 3.
Both those bad Keselowski Fords right there on the bottom lined up, the 2 blue trucks, 29 Reddick, 19 Hemrick.
Hemrick had a chance to go 3 wide, but he pushed his teammate instead. It's early in the race. Let's get sorted early and help our teammate out here if we can, and that's exactly what he did. Look at Gallagher all the way back outside the top 5 after starting on the front row, and he's loose.
Had to move it up the hill. Rico Abreu in that 98 realized that, gave him some extra room.
Abreu took advantage as well. Greg gained that spot. That's Rico on the outside of that 98.
He watched his buddy Kyle Larson, a dirt racer, pull off the win.
Great battle for that 3rd place position. Hemrick in that blue truck, Johnny Sauter on the outside, and Christopher Bell trailing closely.
And you know, Phil, I talked about Kyle Larson, the dirt racer. That's Abreu's background, along with Christopher Bell. I like that kind of racing for this type of racetrack. You move around, you can hit the low groove, you can move around and find the high groove. That's what dirt racers do, and that means they could be successful here. Oh, golly.
Ben Rhodes sideways in that 41 truck.
Saw him sideways at Dover and crashed his teammate. This is just every lap's a learning experience for these kids. Aerodynamically, these trucks are such a handful when they get in traffic because of those big spoilers on the back. It disrupts the air, makes them really difficult to hang on to.
How about Kyle jumping to the high side in that Toyota?
Let's listen. Is he runner wide open?
That's what the guys were telling me, Michael. We're running faster than we ever have, and we're out of the throttle more than we've been. Look how he gained here on the 41 at Rhodes.
Kyle Busch, a 6-time winner here at Charlotte, gains the position. Ben Rhodes inside. Kyle looking for more.
You can see Kyle goes way up the track, leaving a lot of room between he and Rhodes. There's Matt Crafton, your guy, Phil, one of the 6 or 8 guys you picked to win this race.
I just took everybody with some experience.
That's around the 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th position. Just throw a blanket over about 5 or 6 of them there.
Yeah, isn't that great? I mean, that's the kind of racing we have, even back throughout the whole pack here in the Truck Series. These guys know how important it is to get to the front in a hurry because the races are so short.
Kyle Busch on the outside of that 18 truck. The 33 is Ben Kennedy.
You're talking about a North Carolina education lottery. Well, you can get an education here racing along with Kyle Busch. You talked about his record, Phil, how good he is here. You can see he just cut that truck right to the bottom after making the move on the top side. He's got a versatile handling truck.
Brand new truck for Kyle here this weekend. Wasn't particularly pleased with the way it was handling on Thursday in that 1-hour practice session.
Well, he could take one of the haulers from in the garage area and come out here and run well in this truck race.
Well, he hopes that translates to his teammates running well as well. Christopher Bell, you see him locked in that battle deep in traffic, so Bell didn't have a very good practice session on Thursday either. That team was looking for some serious adjustments after practice.
Matt Crafton, that bright yellow Toyota Tundra, and that's Brandon Jones on the outside in the 71 as Crafton slips in for 12th.
I was talking to Junior Joyner, Matt Crafton's crew chief. I said, any concern because you're starting so far back? He said, absolutely. We just need to log some laps here, try to move up until we get that competition caution.
Remember, competition caution coming around lap 25. There's our leader, William Byron, already a winner this season at Kansas. Almost a 2-second lead over Tyler Reddick.
Really stretching it out early is William Byron. He's taking advantage of that strong run on Thursday afternoon to start up front. Rolling on.
Find out more about what's going on with Reddick with Hermie.
Yeah, Vince, his team also coming off a solid run at Dover, 7th place after starting the season with 4 finishes outside of the top 10. He was good on the start, started 6th, took advantage of that high side, made a couple good passes. Truck right now a little bit free in the center.
Dealing with a balance that you're not quite comfortable with is something that a lot of these truck drivers are enduring right now until they get that first pit stop at lap 25 as Matt Crafton leads the group. There's Spencer Gallagher in that blue truck. Remember, he started on the front row and now finds himself in 12th and being pressured.
Yeah, Brandon Jones, that 71 truck. Remember last week at Dover, he qualified on the front row and ended up getting involved in an accident trying to avoid somebody that had a problem.
You guys talked about the comers and goers earlier because we had so many good drivers with decent trucks toward a little further back in the pack. Here's that start as Spencer Gallagher just doesn't get going and loses several positions right away.
I think he spun the tires.
Yes, for sure. And just watch him back up that inside line. Ben Kennedy gives him a little shot there and a bit of a push. Then Kennedy tries to go to the inside, and Gallagher shut the door on Ben. And look, they're going by him 3 wide now.
Christopher Bell on the inside, pressuring Spencer Gallagher as Bell gets around Brandon Jones.
It's a battle for 3rd right there. Now we'll take a look at Kyle Busch right behind Johnny Sauter in the 21. That's Daniel Hemrick, the 19 on the outside. He's running 3rd right now.
That was the 49 of Timmy Hill. They lapped around. Hill got into the wall Thursday night, so he's in a backup truck. Those guys get around him, but Busch is on the move along with Crafton. I like the way that 88 truck looks. Both he and Kyle Busch are looking like they can drive all over this racetrack, and when you get toward the front, you have to have the ability to do that.
Kyle really been working the high side.
Yeah, right around the outside of Johnny Sauter. Put Kyle up to the 4th spot.
William Byron has led them all so far. The 18-year-old from right here in the Charlotte area. Making all his high school friends proud that are sitting in the stands cheering him on. North Carolina Education Lottery 200. NASCAR Camping World Truck Series from Charlotte Motor Speedway, North Carolina Education Lottery 200. William Byron is the leader, but his team owner, Kyle Busch, is on the move. That was a pass of Daniel Hemrick for second.
Kyle was not real happy with his truck Thursday night, as you mentioned, Vince, but and he may not be happy with it now, but it's fast.
Well, this is playing right into his hands, these slippery conditions, his experience. He understands how to drive the truck, how to work the traffic and get everything out of that truck possible. And he's fighting through traffic up to second. The only one left in his windshield is William Byron that lays up ahead. Caitlin, what are they saying in the 9 pit down there for William Byron?
Well, Michael, Vince mentioned it earlier about some fellow students of William Byron here. He's got over 100 students from Charlotte Country Day sitting in the stands supporting him. And actually, William's going to be graduating from high school on May 27th and heading off to Liberty University in the fall. So he's got a lot of supporters here. But speaking of supporters, crew chief Rudy Hugel told me that having Kyle Busch here just elevates the confidence level of all these KBM drivers. They had a big meeting following practice to debrief, and Kyle really takes a lot of time to work with his drivers when he's entered in these races with them.
What a great advantage it is to be a William Byron or a Christopher Bell, a Daniel Suarez, some of these young drivers in the Truck Series that have an opportunity to have Kyle Busch debrief with them.
And remember how involved he was at Dover when Daniel Suarez was trying to chase down Matt Crafton up on top of the pit box giving advice. Came up just short of getting by Matt Crafton.
There's the 19 of Daniel Hemrick, currently running third.
How about the fact that we have 3 of the 3 top runners, 2 of them are local Charlotteans.
Yep. Competition caution coming here in just a few laps at around lap 25. That's why the caution clock, by the way, the caution clock not in effect at the beginning of this race because of the fact we are going to have that competition caution at lap 25.
Looks like Hemrick has picked up the pace. Once Kyle Busch got around him, Kyle hasn't been able to drive away. Daniel's doing a great job in Brad Keselowski's number 19 truck.
We talk about the guys that haven't won yet. The guys are trying to get their spot in the chase. I know it's just a matter of time before that 19 truck gets there. Oh, trouble.
Big hit, Andy Seuss.
Sice loose off turn 2, it looks like, and into the inside wall. He was a lap down already, and man, it's a tough break. Just needed to nurse it a couple more laps, and they could have worked on that truck, but instead he hits the inside wall.
And he's the modified champion, 2-time modified champion for the Whelen Southern Modified Tour. Tough break.
Great to see that window net come down.
That's Andy's first start here in the Truck Series.
Certainly a very talented racer. Those modified shows that he's won and the success he's had there. You know he can get it done behind the wheel. It's just really tough. Learning these big tracks is so much different than how he grew up and what he's been used to.
Right about the spot that we were going to be taking that competition caution. And as you guys said, if you could just held on for another lap, we'll see if we get an idea of what happened here. But pretty good impact there in the front end for sure.
And it's close enough to the time for that competition caution. The NASCAR will deem this the competition caution.
Take a look at what happened here with this one.
We had a truck right behind him. Is that Brandon Brown in the 86 truck? Don't know if there was any contact or not, but
oh, and look, so close to saving it, and it just at the last minute got away from him.
Made contact from safer barrier all the way around the inside of this racetrack. Still a pretty hard hit for Andy.
Sice will be taken to the infield care center and evaluated, but dropped that window net, and that's a sign that he's feeling okay. And of course, he was able to bounce off the safer barrier, and that makes such a tremendous difference when you have an impact.
Pit road's still closed right now. I'm sure it'll open next time by. Wonder if we're going to see any 2-tire changes here for some track position.
I think you might, Phil. I think Kyle Busch definitely gets 4, probably William Byron, but maybe if you're back there in that pack of trucks like we saw Matt Crafton, it looked like his truck was handling well, but man, he's just barely able to crack the top 10 in that first 20-lap run.
Since I have your opinion here, would you rather stay leading with 2, or you want to be 3rd or 4th with 4? I'd rather keep track position for sure.
So there's the discussion that Rudy Fugle, the crew chief's having with his driver William Byron at the front of the pack. Same conversation you two are having.
And you know, Phil, you can tell he's a rookie.
I love the fact that Rudy asked him what he thought.
But every other veteran would have said, give me 4 tires. You know, racers, they want those 4 tires, but Williams says, I can keep leading with 2. I'd like that option. Be interesting to see what they do, how much he takes what William was thinking into consideration.
We used to always say we want that paper flapping because they come with paper stickers on them.
William Byron will lead them down. This is the competition caution. Despite the fact that Seiss spun, made the inside contact with the wall. It's good to see him make his way to the ambulance. Will be taken to the medical center, and here they come down pit road for the first time today, and Hermie Sadler will greet him.
2 different issues on both BKR trucks. Vince, the 29 of Tyler Reddick, his truck is loose. It's going to be 4 tires, air pressure down on the track bar, 4 rounds. The 19 of Daniel Hemrick, his truck is tight, 4 tires, air pressure, and they're going to raise the track bar on the 19. Caitlin.
Well, Kyle Busch is a 6-time winner here in the Truck Series, telling his team, I need help turning off the turn, so they're going to give him 4 tires, fuel, a round down on the track bar, as well as an air pressure adjustment for Kyle Busch. Now for William Byron, we heard them talking about gaining track position 2 or 4. They've elected to do 4 tires for the 9 truck.
So a little bit of a change up there, but the 98 of Rico Abreu, he took 2, one of the few that did, and he gained a lot of positions. We'll see how those 2 tires hold up.
Whew. Boy, Matt Crafton's losing a lot of track position, guys. He's going to come out about 20th.
Wow. Yeah, Byron's team struggled as well with their pit stop, so that didn't go as planned. The 4 tires, I think, is the right decision. I like that, but the team had a bit of a hiccup on the left sides there. Matt Crafton pitted. He was 8th when he came in.
Yeah, look at that's Matt Crafton right there. You see how he had to get in his pits, had to go around Kyle Busch. That's why he's in that bad angle. Probably going to have to push it back. And he just had to wait for Brandon Jones, a 71 truck, to get out of the way, and there he goes. But look how many positions he's losing right now.
We'll see if Matt Crafton can recover. Got a long time to do it. After our first set of pit stops here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, North Carolina Education Lottery 200, NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. A very nice thank you to Tony Stewart for all he has done for the sport. Celebrated his birthday yesterday as well, so happy birthday, Smoke.
Running his last All-Star race tonight.
Going to be fun.
He's been such a good one too.
Oh, wow, man. I respect him so much. I appreciate him so much.
I'm just glad he's not going away too. He's going to be with us, obviously. Stewart House Racing.
I wasn't sure how that was going to work out with the 88, what he was doing, but tell him thanks.
He told me there right before we stopped he was going to give me a little. He couldn't give me much because the 71 was coming around him. I'll talk to him.
Restart is underway. Kyle Busch on the inside, Rico Abreu on the outside. Busch goes to the point.
Look at Timothy Peters looking up on the outside. We don't mind going 3 wide with trucks, do we?
Now remember, Rico's on 2 tires, about everybody else on 4.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough road here for Rico to hang on to it, but we saw in the showdown earlier, 2 tires will work. 4 works better, obviously, but 2 fresh ones can keep you in the game. Look at William Byron, he's 3 wide.
Wow. Like his teammate Christopher Bell in the mix there with Byron.
And John Hunter Nemechek, that A truck on the outside. Here's right along with Tyler Reddick in the 29 truck. Brandon Jones, a 71 on his outside.
That's Cole Custer up top. This is a tight battle.
Yeah, Christopher Bell, the 4 truck right in front of Reddick.
Abreu looks like he's been able to weather the restart, settles in the 3rd spot. Going to be interesting to watch Rico run up front. This is the furthest we've seen him up there under green flag conditions. Remember, Abreu's fresh off the dirt track. He's just learning his trade here.
But getting better and better, too. We had a bad break last week, got taken out in the wreck, but his finishing positions are getting better and better.
And this is so valuable for that young man to get up there and run up front. Prove to himself that he knows what he's doing and he can get it done.
Notice now that we've come out of that caution, we do have the caution clock on the screen for the first time today. Wasn't in effect while we were waiting for that competition caution at lap 25. But if you're not familiar with it, when that clock reaches 0, we will have a caution. It resets each time.
Look how tight that is, man. And William Byron bounces off John Hunter Nemechek.
Yeah, he had to give Christopher Bell, his teammate, a little bit of room on the inside. This is from John Hunter's onboard.
3 wide top tight.
That's just casual caught tight, Bill.
Inside 9, back to 2 right.
Then I think Christopher Bell realized that, and he backed off and let William go.
What about William Byron? He said he wanted that track position. I bet he really wants it now after being 3 wide and bouncing off of another truck.
Good look at the 33, Ben Kennedy.
Remember last week at Dover, William Byron led a lot of that race, and the 9 truck got a little bit behind with some pit stops. That truck got loose in traffic, and he wasn't near as good out back as he was out front.
Speaking of out front, that's Kyle Busch. The 28th straight race in the Camping World Truck Series in which he has participated that he has led.
Is that not amazing?
Wow.
Incredible.
And he wasn't happy with that truck on Thursday evening after practice, but seems like the team's got it tuned up now. But I'm loving who's running second. Daniel Hemrick putting the pressure on Kyle Busch. We think Hemrick will be one of the guys that goes to victory lane this season, and he looks like he's got a fast truck here at Charlotte.
See Christopher Bell, the 4 truck, trying to make a move on the 33 of Ben Kennedy. Let's see if couldn't quite clear him off of 4.
That's for 9th and 10th. Cole Custer right behind, looking if he can take advantage.
Good run off of turn 4 by Kennedy. He was able to drive back around the 4 truck of Christopher Bell. There's Matt Crafton. We saw him earlier passing trucks on the bottom of the racetrack. Well, he had problems during his pit stop, and now he's trying to get back through the field. He's passing them high. Like I said, you need a versatile truck if you're going to get to the front. You've got to go in any lane available.
Christopher Bell in that 4 truck in 10th. That's Cole Custer right there with him. Bell got off to a rough start to the season. We saw the big flip he had at Daytona. 26th at Atlanta, 19th at Martinsville, races in which they ran well but just didn't finish. And then he's since posted back-to-back top 5s as you're on board with John Hunter Nemechek.
Trying to get by the 98 of Rico Abreu. Didn't quite clear him. Here comes William Byron going to follow Rico on the outside.
What a great shot.
9, clear on 9, 98 out there, room out to him, room out to him.
That's what these drivers deal with lap after lap. Just information from the spotter so they don't mess up and pick a lane that someone has occupied.
Rico Abreu in that 98, just his 8th career start. And, you know, of a guy that really needed, I mean, a lot of them needed to practice on Thursday, but he was really looking forward to having 3 different practice sessions, an opportunity. I mean, when you're that inexperienced in a new series, the practice is all the more important. He didn't get it, but he's still doing a heck of a job here today.
They had 3.5 hours scheduled, and they only got 1 hour of that. But Rico's doing a great job parlaying those 2 tires to remain up here in the top 5.
Last week at Dover, ran up as high as 7th. Ended up getting caught up in an accident with Ben Rhodes. Finished 22nd.
Now you can see William Byron, our pulse hitter. He's going to work Rico over down the back straightaway and hopefully getting cleared before they catch the lap truck. He does that. So you talked about it, Phil. Byron was dominant early in Dover, got behind, couldn't rally to get back to the front. It'd be interesting to see if the young rookie from here in Charlotte, North Carolina, figures out how to pass trucks and get his way back into contention to win here at Charlotte.
He's already passed some pretty good trucks. He got by John Hunter Nemechek, just Rico just now. His teammate Christopher Bell a few moments ago.
This is the battle for the lead. Talked about Hemrick keeping the heat on Kyle Busch. Kyle's running low on the track. Hemrick just a bit up, but that's a good battle. That's a great job by the young Daniel Hemrick to chase down maybe the most talented, fastest trucker ever in Kyle Busch.
More on Kyle with Caitlin.
Well, Vince, talking a lot of the crew chiefs before the race, they all said Kyle would be one to watch. Not just because of all the success he's had here, but because he's one of the drivers who's had experience running a day race here. So they told me he's going to know exactly what adjustments to make to that truck to try and get as much speed out of it here running during the day, and that seems to be the case. He's pacing the field now. Hermie?
Well, Caitlin, about 5 laps before Hemrick started to reel in the 18, he predicted a battle for the lead. He said the 18 is starting to get loose on late exit. The problem now, the aero push. You can see him moving around on the racetrack trying to get clean air on the nose of that 19. He feels like he is faster quicker than Kyle Busch. The question is, can he get by him?
Well, Daniel Hemrick and crew chief Chad Kendrick both have had top 5. They put their truck in the top 5 of both mile-and-a-half so far this season. The only team that has been able to do that 19.
And Hemrick's going to lead this lap. Gets to the inside of Busch. See if he can clear him down here in turns 1 and 2.
Daniel Hemrick for the lead.
Middle. What a great run early for Daniel Hemrick in that 19 truck for Brad Keselowski.
Trying to make it stick.
Even, corner, right corner, down to your door, going to come back around you.
Spotter Joey Meyer.
Behind him, you need it. 20 back to the Timothy.
And you see Kyle giving Daniel Hemrick room. He could pull right down next to him and really loosen that truck up, but he's not doing that. He's giving Daniel plenty of room.
It looks like Hemrick's going to clear him and take the lead.
He does.
All right, hit your marks, whatever line you want. Run your lane, figure out where this goes here.
You mentioned Joey Meyer, the spotter on that 19. He also is a spotter for Brad Keselowski in the Sprint Cup Series. And there's the other BKR truck, the 29 of Tyler Reddick. Christopher Bell moving inside, and Matt Crafton coming along with him.
There's Ben Kennedy. All these guys are racing for the 8th spot. Bell took it away from Reddick and is trying to bring Matt Crafton along.
Matt's trying to bounce back after trouble on pit road. Matt started back in the 17th spot, made his way up into the top 10, then restarted outside the top 10 again, is back into the top 10 again.
Christopher Bell having a strong run. Rough start of the season, but he's got it figured out now, Phil. A couple of strong races at Kansas and at Dover, and team's running well again here this weekend.
And a new track for Bell, and for many, but for Bell in particular, as we're discussing him, a new track for him for the 3rd race in a row. So it makes a big difference when you're coming back a place for the 2nd, 3rd, 4th time, but when you've rolling into a track for the first time 3 weeks in a row, that learning curve's pretty steep.
Yeah, he's from Norman, Oklahoma, and racing on the dirt tracks like he grew up, Phil, they've got to learn the track in a hurry. I mean, a dirt practice session might be 5 minutes. They get 8 or 10 laps, and they got to go into heat races and qualifying. So he's been on the chip ever since he's got in a race car, knowing the sense of urgency to get it done. Now he's got a little bit longer in these truck races to figure out how to get himself in a position late, and I think he's doing a nice job of maturing and taking advantage of the distance of the race.
And at least they don't have to worry about how damp the track is and whether the track is heavy or dry slick.
But he also knows that there's different grip levels on different parts of the corner, and so he's going to search around and find the best place for his truck.
And he's not afraid to go to the high side for some grip, because he's there now.
Rico's holding on to a top 10 spot. You can see Cameron Haley trying to get around Reddick, and they're both running right behind Abreu.
Remember, Cameron Haley had a runner-up finish this year at Atlanta on the 1.5 miles.
It's right there just inside the top 10.
There's Crafton trying to pick off another spot. He's looking on the inside of Bell. Whoa, he's gonna... How does he keep that thing off the wall?
And he was sliding sideways up there next to the wall.
That's truck control.
Back to Reddick and Ben Kennedy now. Kennedy on the inside, Reddick on the blue Ford on the outside. It's for 11th.
Kennedy right down on that white line. There's good grip there. He's able to take advantage of it and get around Reddick. There's Reddick's teammate, Daniel Hemrick, leading at the Super Speedway. It's got to be a great feeling for that young man.
And his home Super Speedway.
Had a career best 3rd place finish in Kansas the last time we were on a 1.5 miles. This time he's out front leading the way. Back at Charlotte Motor Speedway, NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. It's a North Carolina Education Lottery 200. Take a look at our Ford track facts. Surprising to me, Ford never been to victory lane here in Charlotte.
As many good drivers and trucks as they've had. You see Carl Edwards for Roush and Terry Cook, who's up on top of the on top of the roof right now. Spot for John West Townley, as Kyle Busch said, let me lead this race for a while here. Not quite able to do it this time.
Got Ford out front and Daniel Hemrick.
He caught Daniel Hemrick running on the high side, Phil, but then Daniel moved up, and Kyle had to go to the bottom, and he couldn't quite clear Hemrick in 1 and 2. Great job of adjusting your line for Daniel Hemrick. That's how you get it done. Oh!
There you go. Nice up clear. Clear.
Contact and a great save on both drivers. numbers account.
And that's Joey Meyer. He's perfect that way. Just as calm.
Okay.
He's calm and as collected as I've ever heard a spotter. He used to be my spotter for me. One day at Rockingham, a guy flipped down the back straightaway, and Joey's like, "Oh wow, I've never seen that before. That guy's flipping at Rockingham." I said, "Joey, how about tell me where he's going? That'll help too." But he's just a cool dude. He spots for Brad, and he obviously is on top of his game and keeps the driver calm and focused.
Boy, Kyle Busch really gets a great run off that hill, coming down the hill, and now he's looking inside of Hemrick again. Can he make it stick this time? Kyle Busch for the lead against Daniel Hemrick.
See if Daniel gets that run off of 2 from the high side. Dead even there in the center of the backstretch. Now that momentum for Hemrick's going to win that battle as they got to 3.
And Kyle Busch said, "You want the bottom, Daniel? I'll take the top."
Watch this run here. Watch this run.
Kyle gets such a great run off turn 4. Makes the pass for the lead. Back in front is Kyle Busch.
Daniel Hemrick right down on the white line. Will they split this lap truck?
Busch gets held up, dives down.
Tommy Joe Martins in the 44. Says these guys look like they're in a hurry. You can see Martins isn't that far off the pace. Just a couple of tenths of a second. Half second or so, and you find yourself behind because of the fast pace that our leaders are setting.
John Hunter Nemechek on board. That's a good look at the 4 of Christopher Bell.
It's a battle for the 6th position right now. Christopher Bell's made some pretty good progress.
Well, they were so unhappy with their truck in that Thursday practice.
Got loose down there on the bottom, Vince, but he's rallied, like you said. Jerry Baxter made a lot of adjustments to that Ford truck, along with Kyle Busch, our race leader. His team had to get aggressive with the changes on the 18.
Yeah, and it's interesting that both the 4 and the 18 brought new trucks here this weekend, and both unhappy in that Thursday practice, but they've got them tuned up a lot better right now. Right, Caitlin?
Well, you're exactly right, Vince. We've been talking a lot about the experience level of Kyle Busch at this track, and he's very good at giving the feedback he's going to need to make that truck faster. Just talking to his team about the adjustments they'll probably need to make on this next stop as the caution clock starts to wind down.
Entry, landing, center, turns 1 and 2. A little bit right off of 2. Getting into 3 is okay. Landing, trying to get to the bottom. It picks up tight before it picks up loose down there. Kind of tight. Both 3 and 4. Loose, both 1 and 2. Again, a hard thing to fix.
Some very detailed feedback to his team there from Kyle. Now, he's only run one other truck race this season. That was Martinsville. Won that race. Now he's looking to maybe get his 7th truck win here at Charlotte today. Hermie.
Well, Caitlin, we got to give a call to the 17 of Timothy Peters, currently running 3rd. Now, he started in the 20th position. He's made a lot of passes on the racetrack, but also his pit crew has been on the money, gained 5 spots when he came down pit road on the competition caution. His truck was loose to begin the race. They made an adjustment. Now a little bit too snug is the 17. Look for him to make some more adjustments when they come back down pit road. He'd like to get up there and mix it up with the 18 and the 19.
You know, I talked to Shane Huffman, Timothy Peters' crew chief, yesterday, and I said, what do you think about the weather as we see William Byron in that battle for that 3rd spot? He said, I did kind of a compromise because I don't think we're going to race tonight, being last night. I think we're going to race during the day, so I have a bit of a compromise setup, working pretty good so far.
Indeed, as you see, as mentioned, Peters on top, Byron down on the bottom. That caution clock now at 2 minutes.
Winding down. These crew chiefs, you think about Westwood. Whoa, look at that move around the top by Christopher Bell. That was aggressive. We saw him running up next to the wall by himself, and he just took that lane around. John Hunter Nemechek, great move.
Yeah, Bell and John Hunter Nemechek have had quite a battle for this 6th spot.
The momentum on the high side is going to propel the Ford truck of Christopher Bell ahead. And behind them, that's Cameron Haley. He's going to try to take the Bell Road as well.
We heard the 8 truck of John Hunter Nemechek have to pedal that throttle a little bit because he didn't have that room to come off the corner because Christopher Bell was there.
How would you like to be Kyle Busch's crew chief, Wes Ward? He's down
there. Oh, my goodness.
He's down there thinking, writing down everything Kyle said. How do I work on all these? He wants so many things. That's how talented these guys are. They can feel every part of that truck and every piece of the turn, and they want it fixed.
Well, then Kyle gave all that dissertation about all the things that were wrong with it or how it was handling it, and said, well, I don't think we're going to be able to fix it.
We should try, though, I think. We got 1 minute to go before the caution flag flies. And think about Matt Crafton. We saw trouble on pit road during his first pit stop. He's been able to rally all the way up to the top 5 with that 88 truck. So if they have a good pit stop here, put Crafton in contention to win this baby in the second half.
They just need to hold serve. If they could come out somewhere around 5th, that's going to be so far better than what they've been doing earlier from the start of the race, the initial start, and that first competition caution.
I like where that 88 truck is and the way he's performing. I think Junior Joyner and that team will get the job done on pit road, and he's got something for Kyle Busch and these leaders.
Finished 3rd in this race last year. There's a former winner here at Charlotte when you go way back. First career win scored here at Charlotte for Matt Crafton.
You know, it's amazing that he's made his way all the way up to the 5th spot here, just on the outside of the top 3, as far back as he was on that last restart.
That's right.
After having all those problems in the pits and the caution flag.
Put it out. Put it out.
Competition caution. On lap 67. It's just the 3rd race we've had the competition caution. We had it on a couple of occasions at Atlanta, 2 more at Kansas, and then for the first time here today.
We got to go with 4. Rico remained in the top 10 with 2 tires here, so that may be something to remember for later. But we have to figure on going 39 laps is how many green flag laps we can run before the caution clock would run out again. So I think we got to think about 4 here, don't you guys?
Yeah, I like 4 and some adjustments. You know, we heard Kyle Busch talking about the things he would like to change. All the drivers are giving that type of feedback to their crew chiefs. So when you put 4 tires on, Phil, it just gives you more things you can change. A little bit of air pressure on the lefts maybe and the rights, and like maybe with the track bar adjustment or other things that the crews do to make the trucks handle better.
Coming to pit road here in just a moment. Got to make sure you execute these pit stops penalty free. We had Tyler Young and Matt Tifft, Daniel Suarez all get penalized on the first round of stops for having a man over the wall too soon.
And Suarez is only able to race back to the 16th spot, so he's having trouble from overcoming his problems. And Phil, anytime you get this close, past halfway, you can't afford any mistakes on pit road. You got to be solid.
You may be getting by with it that first time, but not now.
Bobby Pierce will get the free pass. Coming to pit road, Kyle Busch will lead him. Daniel Hemrick, Timothy Peters, William Byron, Matt Crafton, all in the top 5. Hermie Sadler waiting on him.
Well, Vince Timothy Peters started 20th. He is now 3rd. Tight through the center. Needs to put the throttle down quicker. It's going to be 4 tires. Air pressure for the 17. Now on the 19 of Daniel Hemrick, they are too tight. The question is, they don't want to be too loose at the beginning of a run. 4 tires, air pressure, 1 round of wedge out of the right rear for the 19. Caitlin.
Well, taking a look at the race leader, Kyle Busch, there at the bottom of your screen. He's saying he's tight through the center. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment, 4 tires and fuel for the 18 truck. Now from William Byron, the last winner on a mile-and-a-half racetrack at Kansas. He's saying, I need to be freer at the start of the run. Too tight to start, but the rear of the truck is not too bad. They're going to do 4 tires, fuel, and an air pressure adjustment on the 9 truck.
Kyle Busch, first one off pit road. Timothy Peters picked up a spot, as did William Byron. How about that 0-0 of Cole Custer? A big mover.
Wow. With 4 tires gaining 9 spots.
Back to Charlotte Motor Speedway after this. The Queen City, it's turned into quite a nice day. After a couple of days of rain, put away the umbrellas and the boots. Great to see the sunshine, the sunglasses on, and enjoy one here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, North Carolina Education Lottery 200.
You know, guys, we were talking about not being able to get away with a mistake here. We're halfway into this race, not being able to have enough time, and good gracious, what kind of stuff we had went on that pit stop.
Kyle Busch, an uncontrolled tire. Watch the right rear.
That tire carrier's doing his job. He's supposed to roll it to the wall.
And the guy just was a step behind getting there, and away goes the tire. Hermie, what are they saying in the 19 pit?
Well, Michael, the 19 came in 2nd, went back on the racetrack 5th, and here's why. Watch the right rear. Went the wrong way on the adjustment, had to go back in and fix that. Took off the timing of the pit stop a little bit slow on the left rear as well, but a costly mistake for the 19. He'll have some traffic to deal with when they go back green.
The 4 of Christopher Bell was also penalized over the wall too soon. So a couple of KBM trucks taking penalties. The 4 of Bell and the 18 of Kyle Busch getting ready for the restart here. Timothy Peters on the outside. That control truck. William Byron on the inside.
Peters will hit the gas when he gets in the zone right there. Byron can, the race is on after that. As soon as Peters hits the gas first, these guys can go after it. You can see Johnny Sauter looking the inside of Cole Custer trying to take it 3 wide, and they do wind up 3 wide back there.
A lot of jockeying for position.
William Byron side by side now in that battle for second with Daniel Hemrick.
Peters started 20th, and now he is out front at lap 72.
What a great run for Timothy Peters. Just patched his way up from 20th to the 3rd spot.
Spinner. It's the 4 of Christopher Bell. Don't believe he hit anything, saved it.
Looks like that right front tire is down. He doesn't want to spend too much time riding around on those flat tires.
No, I'd stop right now, get tires, and
yeah, I think the field is slow enough now. They're just coming off turn number 2. I say stop now.
Jerry Baxter will call him to the pit box. They put 4 tires on it. They're not going to lose a lap.
He's right in the middle, just right in the middle of a couple trucks. He had Tyler Reddick, the 29, on his outside, Parker Kligerman on his inside, and I think he just lost some downforce, Michael.
And great job by Matt Tifton, that 11 truck, not to run over the top of Christopher Bell. Remember, he was running in the 6th position when he made that pit stop. They had a penalty, put him back, and in traffic, turn him loose.
Take a look at it from the onboard of the 29. And remember, without that penalty, Michael, you touch on, without that penalty, he's not back in the pack at that point.
Man, he just saw a hole, and he said, I got to go for that hole. Truck got loose. He's lucky he didn't hit anything. He can get some fresh tires and continue on.
This is from Kyle Busch's onboard.
He's on the side, very bottom. Your jack at the bottom. Easy, get low, get low, get low. Watch her spin it. Now stay high. Stay on the wall, on the wall, on the wall. Coming out, keep going.
So all that smoke there, Kyle Busch just about stopped that truck. Bobby Pierce actually passed him while Kyle was slowing down.
Bell did a great job keeping it off the wall, though. Restart when we return. Great artwork on the grass here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. North Carolina Education Lottery 200. It's been a good one so far here in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. Timothy Peters, the leader. Started 20th and has made his way to the front.
What about that charge by Timothy Peters? This has been such an entertaining race because of the conditions. We're seeing a lot of guys starting in the back, heading to the front.
Under caution because of a spin involving the 4 of Christopher Bell, and more on that with Caitlin.
Well, Christopher Bell had to come back down pit road again. He said he heard a vibration, so his crew chief, Jerry Baxter, said, bring it down. Let's check all the lug nuts, make sure everything's tight. So he came down. They're all good. He said, you know what? We still got time. We can make up ground on this, guys.
Let's see if we can get in touch with our leader, Timothy Peters. Hey, Timothy Peters. Phil Parsons up in the FS1 booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Phil. I got you.
Man, it sure looks like you got a fast truck. You started all the way back in 20th and drove your way up to 3rd. Now you've got the lead. What do you think?
Red Horse Tundra is pretty good. A little tight balance, but Shane and all the guys really worked hard after our practice that we had on Thursday night and tuned our Red Horse Tundra up. So, you know, it feels good to march to the front like that. The guys on pit road did a great job getting him even more track position. So, you know, good Tundra, good triad horsepower. Hopefully I can cap it off.
Are you going to restart here on the outside so you've got your buddy Matt Crafton behind you?
Yeah, I think I'll go high. It seems like it's the preferred choice. With it being greasy like that, it's just a little bit more grip.
All right, buddy. Thanks for talking to us. Have a good one.
You bet.
Now that's one of the most friendly competitors I've ever talked to. He's got the lead. He knows he's done a day's work in driving from 20th all the way up to 1st, and calm and collected is Timothy Peters, a veteran there.
Timothy mentioned Shane. That's Shane Huffman, his crew chief. More on the communication between the 17 and the 88 with Hermie.
Well, Vince, we've had a lot of issues with restarts in this series the last couple of weeks. The 17 and the 88 communicating about what they want to do when they drop the green flag.
Get with Timothy Spotter and we'll do our deal, you know. And I told him to just use a hand signal one this time. If that's cool with you, you can see it. Rather him right to here, right when he was getting ready, he'd know when he's going to fire. Tell him to raise his right hand for a split second. I'll start the roll too. Copy that. Copy that.
Radio communication, very important, especially on the start.
Well, these restarts are just critical.
And my brother would call that cooperation. What it means is Matt Crafton is going to try to help Timothy Peters, but that's going to help Matt Crafton.
Sure, absolutely.
Matt's worried more about Matt than he is anyone, but they're going to try to make a move on the inside line here on this restart. Remember, Peters is a control truck, so as soon as he goes, Matt wants to be right on his bumper, giving him that push, helping him get out in front.
Yeah, that 19 on the inside cannot fire off before the control truck of Timothy Peters. The green waves. Peters getting that push from Crafton.
You see him throw the hand up, and away they went.
And look at Crafton. He's taking advantage of that draft like we talked about. He's going to drive up to the second spot.
And Hemrick's going to fight back there on the inside.
And remember, while this deal was all being constructed, Timothy Peters was talking to us about his truck and the job that team has done.
How about that orange truck right there in the middle? Daniel Suarez, first time we've mentioned him tonight up inside the top 5. First time we've mentioned him at all, I think, other than that penalty, and he'd prefer that we just skip right over that.
Yeah, doing a nice job here overcoming that penalty.
And remember what I said about Matt? It's all about Matt. That deal's over.
Oh, yeah.
They did the start. Now Crafton wants the lead.
No more hand signals and all the cooperation that you were talking about?
Cooperation?
Cooperation. I should have asked my brother before I tried to use his word. I think he has it patented. Anyway, he's got a lot of sayings patented.
Crafton pressuring, and there's Suarez, that 51 truck.
How about Rico and the 98 truck? 4 tires on that truck. Rico likes it.
Inside the top 5 for the 98 of Rico Abreu.
This is Abreu's strongest run since he joined the Truck Series. Just a few races in, and he's getting it done on the big track.
Wow, look at Crafton. Power underneath Timothy Peters. For the lead, Matt Crafton.
Matt tried to get away from Timothy. Timothy said, no, I'm going right with you.
Oh, and they're 3 wide nearly behind these guys.
They are 3 wide.
Makes it stick off turn 4, and he'll lead this one.
How about the job Ben Kennedy's doing right now, running in the 3rd spot, right on Timothy Peters' rear tailgate.
Crafton in the lead, Peters second. There's the 33 of Kennedy, trailed by the 19 of Daniel Hemrick, and Rico Abreu in 5th.
Crafton stretching it out up front. What an impressive run. They had a problem on pit road. We talked about hold and serve, don't give anything away on that pit stop. Only lost 1 spot, and now he's driving with the lead.
Really, the 2 pit stops that Crafton's had, both have been poor pit stops. They've lost positions. It's an indication of how strong their truck has been, that they continue to pick up those spots as they come back out on track in racing formation. As you on board with Kyle Busch.
He closes right in on Ryan Truex. Truex doing a great job again in that 81 truck.
We just always seem to see him up in the top 10 each and every week.
He's a talented, young, smart racer. He gets everything out of that Toyota it has to offer. Just consistent and steady. And when they throw the checker flag, he's up in the top 10 more often than not.
And if you're just joining us and you're wondering how in the heck is Kyle Busch running 12th or 13th, he had a penalty for an uncontrolled tire. The pit stop had to go to the tail. Watch the 19 of Hemrick.
He's trying to get under Ben Kennedy, who's running in the 3rd spot. Great run by Ben. Rico Abreu is going to push Ben down the front.
I think Rico's going to go to the high side, maybe, and try to do something with Ben Kennedy. What a great truck Rico has, and what an outstanding job he's doing.
Well, his comfort level seems to be much increased over what we've seen in previous weeks.
Having run a truck here before, Vince, and raced here many times, your comfort level goes out the window when you start running that high line. You know you're just a couple of inches, maybe slipping a tire just a bit away from being in that outside wall, but he's doing a great job. That's the dirt racer in him again, coming out, showing that he's got to search around and find the groove, and Rico is doing it perfectly.
Well, if you've ever seen Rico run a dirt car, you know that there is no fear in him running the high line.
He watched his buddy Kyle Larson use the high line and do some amazing things in the showdown.
Look at William Byron. He's going to look inside of Ben Kennedy, trying to get that spot away. He had a terrible start, but look, he's able to stick down on the bottom, nearly clear Kennedy. Looks like Byron's going to be able to rally.
Great above view of Rico Abreu, the lead truck in that pack, running 3rd. Caitlin.
Well, that Matt has won here at this racetrack before. And really, he's leaned on Matt all season long, but he was excited to come to Charlotte because he said you can move around a little more with the wider racing surface, which is definitely suits my driving style. Now, he told his team he's been a little bit tight. They made a wedge adjustment on that last stop to try and loosen up that truck for Rico.
As Caitlin said, I think if Rico has a great run, finishes up in the top 5, the only person that's going to be not almost as happy as Rico is Matt Crafton.
That's right. Crafton not only is good to his teammates like that, he helps that whole garage. Those competitors know that if they need some advice, some direction,
they all lean on him.
They all lean on the experienced veteran Matt Crafton, and he loves helping them and then beating them. that makes it even more special.
Matt Crafton is the leader. Scored his first career win here at Charlotte. You never forget those. And he is the master of the mile and a half. 8 of his 12 career wins have come on the mile and a half. Wow, it's close. Kyle Busch down there on the inside.
Trying to crack the top 10.
Ben Rhodes on the outside. Cameron Haley right behind him.
We know how good that truck of Kyle Busch has been, but he's just now cracked the top 10 after that penalty on that pit stop.
Phil, we talked about the fact that you can't make a mistake past halfway and win one of these races. If anyone can do it, it's Kyle Busch because of his talent and his history. But Caitlin, he's got his work cut out for him. He's barely just now made the top 10.
Throughout the course of the late going to this race, he's saying he's just too tight, cannot run the outside. Here's some feedback he gave to his team.
Something happened to this thing. It's so tight, like it's all on the splitter. Like we lost our packer or something. I mean, it will not go in the upper lane where I was really strong earlier, so
So Kyle Busch obviously a little bit frustrated after having such a strong truck leading laps in the early goings of this race. Finds himself P10 right now, guys.
As you see Rico Abreu trying to get around the 19 of Daniel Hemrick. I think that's interesting, Phil, when you talk about Kyle talking about the fact that he can't go on that high line the way his truck had been so strong earlier. That's going to be a big break for the rest of the field.
Yeah, how about this great 3-wide battle here? Ben Rhodes, the 41, Christopher Bell in the 4, Cameron Haley in the 13. There's Johnny Sauter, Brandon Jones. What a great battle here. These guys battling just outside the top 10.
Looks like a Talladega pack.
It does.
A lot of drafting on the straightaways here, and then you got to deal with the truck not handling well in the corners because of all the disturbed air that you're trying to run in. These guys are doing a great job.
We saw how good Kyle was early in the race on that high side. Now we heard him talk about the fact that his truck is not near as good. He thinks he may have lost a packer, which is the spacer that goes between the bump stop and the shock, and his splitter may be down on the ground.
What about these guys trying to grab that second spot away from Timothy Peters? Rico Abreu right up on the high side, and then Daniel Hemrick cutting to the bottom. And then there's Suarez watching as those guys battle side by side.
He said he felt like the middle was open, so he just took the middle.
Looks like the draft is going to work for Abreu and Suarez as they swing around the high side of Hemrick.
Suarez had a good run last week at Dover, really pressured Matt Crafton in the final stages of that race.
What a great job by Suarez. I mean, he gave it all he had. You could just see he was working every lane on the racetrack trying to do something with Crafton. He's been close so many times. It's just got to start to be painful when the checkered flies and he sees he's in second again.
That was his 4th runner-up finish in the Truck Series.
And there's William Byron. He's caught this group now. We watched him lead this race early, and now he's trying to fight back from issues on pit road.
Had a slow stop. He led 25 laps at the start of this race, and then they had a slow stop, lost some positions early, and just haven't been able to regain them. But that 9 truck has been fast.
Well, Rico doesn't want to give up that 3rd spot, too. Suarez got around him, then Rico switched over, got to the bottom.
That's a tough road to run, a tough line down on the bottom in these trucks. Rico's going to fall back in line and go to the high side in turns 1 and 2. I thought Cole Custer would be stronger today in that 00 truck. He's running solidly in the top 10. He's been there all day, but hadn't been able to make any progress up toward the top 5. Ben Kennedy, a solid day, though.
Yeah,
7th
Ben
spot.
Kennedy's leading that pack right there. All 4 of these trucks battling for position.
On board with John Hunter Nemechek. The good look at that double zero. Cole Custer just ahead of him. Custer's another one of those that didn't get the finishes at the beginning of the season that they felt like they deserved. 24th at Daytona, 17th at Atlanta, 29th at Martinsville. But he came back with a 7th place finish at Kansas and then 5th place at Dover last week. Hermie, are they starting to gain some momentum? Do they feel like they're going in the right direction with that double zero?
Well, they've been fighting a tight racetrack pretty much all day long. Spotter Eddie DeHaan, you can see him right now. He is battling with the 33, is Cole Custer, and getting past on the outside. They have been talking to him about moving up the racetrack to help the truck turn better with the higher banking of this speedway. A little bit of a frustrating day, but don't count Cole Custer out. This kid will fight to the checkered flag, but a little bit too tight to make a move towards the front.
Keep our eye on that, and maybe an adjustment coming for that truck in about 9.5 minutes when that caution clock expires. As you see the battle for second, Suarez inside of Timothy Peters. Suarez has been on the march.
Imagine that, he's in second. Now you just got to go try to run down the same guy who was chasing last week when we turned off the TV.
Peters isn't giving it up easily. Fighting back, Timothy Peters on the outside.
Look at that run through the center, though. Great move by Suarez. He cuts the bottom, and that's a power move. Anytime you can get around the bottom of another truck as strong as Peters is, you know you got something.
And that's what these drivers and crew chiefs expected with the daytime race. There would be a lot more passing, and I think we've seen more passing in this race today than we've seen the last 2 races here at Charlotte.
William Byron battling Rico Abreu there. Right there for 4th and 5th. Byron in that 9 trucks. Interesting, that 9 truck out of the Kyle Busch Motorsports stable. Been to victory lane 8 times in 14 starts. That's a good truck, and Byron's given it a heck of a run today. Speaking of Kyle Busch Motorsports, Caitlin on the 51.
Well, Daniel Suarez is making his first truck start here. He has raced here twice in the Xfinity Series, finished top 10 in both of those. But like many of the competitors today, he is saying he still has a tight handling truck. His spotter has telling him, just keep hitting your marks, run your race, run a smooth race, go after P1, the race leader, Matt Crafton.
See that margin between the two, under 3.5 seconds. Keep our eye on that and see if Suarez can cut into it. Caution clock, 8 minutes.
I don't think we're going to reach the caution clock because we only have 14 laps to go until the 20 to go when the caution clock is turned off.
Good point,
we're
Phil.
averaging a little bit over 31 seconds a lap, so I don't think the caution clock's going to come into play.
And Matt Crafton, speaking of the clock, about 1/10 of a second a lap faster than second place Daniel Suarez. So Crafton just hopes no caution comes out and he could just stretch this baby all the way home.
But we probably will have more pit stops, though. We're going to be inside of 20 laps to go. Most of these guys have last pitted on lap 68. They can go somewhere around 50, 55 laps, so that puts up around 122, 123 for 55 laps. Now, Kyle Busch, because of his penalty.
Just wide open right here. You just hit the wall to the middle, 3 and 4. The bumper and the quarters peeled apart.
Yeah, that's talking about Rico Abreu. You saw him.
How bad? Oh, yeah.
Remember I talked about the fact you're never comfortable here running that close to the wall. It looks like maybe Rico stepped over the edge and got that right rear into the outside wall.
And that's so easy to do, too.
And if there's damage back there, that's going to hurt that truck aerodynamically. You can see the tailgate is flopping back there. He doesn't have the downforce on that right side like he normally has.
Yeah, and the side force as well. These guys rely so much on side force. Take a look at it. There he is, right into the outside safer barrier.
That's pretty normal here at Charlotte. You're going to rub it maybe a little bit more than just casual contact there. As you can see, the right rear corner is bent back.
He should be able to hang out here. I don't think it's going to cause any issues with the tire, but just not sure how much speed he's going to have now.
You know, Christopher Bell's been impressive. Up into the top 10 now, battling Ben Kennedy for that 9th spot. We saw that spin, and since coming to pit road and Jerry Baxter and the team putting 4 tires on that truck, he's been one of the fastest trucks on the track.
Remember, he's one of the guys I started talking about, the guys that pitted on lap number 74. Kyle Busch, Christopher Bell, Matt Tiff pitted on lap number 74. That means they would only have 60 laps to run. Some of those laps caution, so they may be able to think about stretching it. But the guys that pitted on lap 68, I believe they've got to come.
And that would probably, Phil, just be a gas and go late, I would guess, in order to try to get to the finish, especially if some of these guys are able to stretch it and make it all the way to the checker. Matt Crafton would welcome a caution. He knows that he has Kyle Busch in his rearview mirror now. He can get in his pit more squarely, have a great pit stop, and he's going to have to stop. If someone can make it, that would be really hard for Matt to overcome.
On board with Kyle Busch, currently in that 7th spot. He is, Phil mentioned, one of those that came in and topped off at lap 74. More on that story with Hermie.
I just spoke to the crew chief, Chad Kendrick, of Daniel Hemrick on this 19. Now, he's about 10 laps short of fuel. He believes most of the leaders will also be short. One thing to remember also, NASCAR gave these teams an additional set of tires to use for the extended practice that they did not get. So there is a set of stickers in the 19 pit as well as most others. The question is, will they use them?
Yeah, I think there's no question the guys that pitted on lap number 68, like Daniel Hemrick, they have to come to pit road. Maybe the guys that pitted on 74, like Christopher Bell, Kyle Busch, they may be able to think about stretching it. But, and I'm not sure I want to stay there long enough to put tires on. I want about 3 seconds of fuel and go.
The different manufacturers, of course, and different teams going to get different fuel mileage. But if Kendrick's talking about Hemrick being 10 laps short and the others pitted 6 laps after him, the difference of 68, pitting on 68 to pitting on 74, that still leaves 4 laps that you got to find somewhere if all things are equal.
Yeah, and I'm sure the crew chiefs looked at the caution clock, said, okay, guys, we're not going to get to the caution clock. This thing may run to the end. Save me some fuel. Kyle Busch, save me about 4 or 5 laps of fuel, and we may be able to go all the way.
Crafton getting by lap traffic. Matt Crafton trying to make it back-to-back wins.
There's the battle for second. You can see Suarez has slipped away from Timothy Peters, but right on Peters' tailgate is William Byron. Looks like Peters is going to slip up a little bit. It'd be interesting to see if the momentum for Byron can grab him that 3rd spot.
I think right now it's get all you can get, because we know we're going to have to come to pit road, whether we're going to just top it off with fuel or maybe put right side tires on. You want to gain every 10th of a second you can, every position you can.
That's the battle for 3rd. Peters on the outside, William Byron inside.
Phil, would you consider, if you're running 5th, 6th, say like Rico or some of the guys that can't make it out in the back half of the top 10, John Hunter, pit now, get some gas, get 2 tires, and hopefully have a caution late that you could take advantage of those tires?
Maybe so, because these guys right now are running about a second off their fastest lap. So there's only, with this many laps, with 40 laps on the tires, they're only running about a second off what they ran for their fastest lap. If you only put 2 right sides on, you're probably not going to run that fast. So I'm not sure it would be worth it to pit early.
We got to mix it up. We got to try to do something to maybe steal a victory, because you're not going to beat Matt Crafton just straight up doing the same thing he does.
Again, you see the caution clock approaching 2.5 minutes, but remember, the caution clock cannot come into play in the final 20 laps of the race. So when we get to 20 to go, that caution clock will disappear, and boom, just you say it, and it's like magic.
It was like magic, Vince. You pull it out of there.
The caution clock, obviously, as you guys have already said, not going to be a factor here in these final stretches, but there are trucks out there, drivers hoping to get a caution because they want to come to pit road and get fuel, make an adjustment.
Yeah, pit stops are going to be an issue in this race here. And boy, talk about not being able to overcome a penalty. You sure can't overcome a penalty inside the last 10 laps to go.
Well, just think about Kyle Busch. His penalty was at halfway. He's only made it back up to 6th spot. He had a truck that could win the race leading earlier. He's not going to be able to rally and get there unless he's been in that truck saving some fuel, getting that thing all the way to the checker without any more gas.
We talked about some of the impressive dominance of Matt Crafton in the mile-and-a-half program. 8 of his 12 career wins on the mile-and-a-half.
Nathan, I don't think there's going to be a shot box here.
I mean, look what he's done just in the last 10 races on the mile-and-a-half track.
Yeah, what an amazing run he's had on these mile-and-a-halves here lately.
Won last week at Dover, trying to make it 2 in a row. And if Crafton would happen to win again, that's just another race taken away as we look at trying to get a win to earn your position in the chase. That's just one less race these other non-winners are going to have to try to get a win and secure a spot.
And Matt's fine with that.
Yep.
He's fine without opening up the door.
And so is William Byron.
Absolutely.
Yes. And he just took the 3rd spot away from Timothy Peters. Now he's going to set his sights on Daniel Suarez, who lays just up ahead.
Remember a short while ago when we talked about Suarez being 3.5 seconds behind, and keep an eye on that. Now it's double that. Crafton really stretching the legs as we're at the Camping World 20 to go.
Yeah, with that 7.5-second lead from Matt Crafton, all he has to do is just get down pit road. If we don't get another caution flag, dump enough fuel in this thing, not speed, and then he's in great shape here. But the only thing he has to worry about now, does Kyle Busch have enough fuel to get to the end without stopping? Does Christopher Bell have enough fuel to get to the end without stopping?
Yeah, in the last few laps, Christopher Bell, who runs in the 8th spot, has been faster than Kyle Busch. So we could see a battle from a couple of guys there if they can go all the way on their gas.
On board with Kyle Busch running 5th.
Lapping around Jordan Anderson. Jordan, the 66 truck, down on the bottom. Kyle now sees Timothy Peters just up ahead. You can see the trucks dive into turn 3. There's Suarez. Then Peters up high, William Byron down low. Great view.
Oh, we heard that radio from Kyle a little bit earlier saying that he felt like his truck had lost some of the handling. Didn't feel like he could run it around the high line the way he had preferred earlier, and the way he felt like he was fastest. Let's find out more on that with Caitlin.
Thank you, and I'm joined by Wes Ward, the crew chief here for Kyle Busch. Wes, do you think you have enough fuel to make it to the end? Do you feel like you've got enough fuel to make it to the end, or are you going to need to make another pit stop?
Yes, no, I didn't realize the caution clock was going to be turned off. I think it's got a lot of people by surprise. We can't make it anyway. 127. Just have to see what happens. We'll definitely have to stop.
All right, thank you.
Well, it's interesting, Wes Ward not being familiar maybe with the caution clock rules. And keep in mind, he's not a full-time, this is not a full-time team. This is a group of guys that come together to run that additional truck, that 4th truck for Kyle Busch Motorsports.
Yeah, I really don't think the caution clock being turned off should have caught any of these guys off guard, because it didn't catch us off guard, so it shouldn't have caught them. They've got engineers, race engineers down there trying to keep up with that kind of thing.
Look at William Byron. He's closed in on Daniel Suarez. Well, that's good news for Matt Crafton. If Kyle Busch can't make it, then no one's going to make it unless Christopher Bell is able to stretch a little bit more, but that's the same team, so I wouldn't see that happening. So just an uneventful pit stop is all we're looking for here. But Phil, I'm talking, there's a big move. Kyle Busch around Timothy Peters. I'm talking going from 180 miles an hour down to pit road speed and not speeding any part of that pit road. That's tough.
Remember when we talked at the top of the show, you took the young guys, I took the veterans. I believe Matt Crafton's in my class.
Cole Custer is on pit road and heading toward Hermie Sadler.
Yeah, these guys have decided to short pit the 00 all the way down his end of pit road. The 20 to 19 also, they're going to get right side tires because Daniel Hemrick has said my right front is killed. The truck has been too tight. 2 tires and fuel. The 19 is down and away.
That's a bit of strategy there, getting those tires like we talked about. You get a late caution, those 2 tires could mean a big difference. Matt Crafton has slowed down over a second leading this race. He's a second slower than his fastest lap, so the tires do fall off. I like that call. We weren't going to win that the way we were if you're Daniel Hemrick. Let's change it up.
Absolutely. Now for Matt Crafton, I think his strategy is, and he actually could put 2 tires on if he wanted to. He's got such a big lead. The biggest thing is, don't make any mistakes on pit road.
After a bit of a battle with Timothy Peters, Kyle Busch has finally put him away, and Busch now into that 4th spot solidly. Matt Crafton building that lead. Here comes the 98 of Rico Abreu on pit road. Caitlin is waiting on him.
Well, Rico making his first truck start here. This has been one of the better races for him all season long. Electing to make one of these green flag pit stops. He's going to go ahead and do 4 tires for the 98 truck of Rico.
Wow. Is Rico's nose across the line?
That's a 2-tire stop.
Yeah, Bruce. Yeah. John Hunter Nemechek pulling out right alongside of Rico. Another thing Matt Crafton Jr. don't stretch this fuel and run that thing out of fuel over on the other side of the racetrack.
There's Daniel Suarez. He's running 2nd, and then Crafton trying to get it woed up in time to avoid that pit lane speeding penalty.
Did you see him slide it in there? That's what these guys are faced with. They got to get all they can.
Now he's a little bit vulnerable.
Just a splash.
Phil, you called it. We're getting a call hearing that maybe Rico Abreu was out of his box when he made his pit stop. That will be a pass-through penalty.
Yeah, I think his nose was across the line. Unfortunately, they would have given them time to back up, but they went ahead and did the pit work. There it is right there. Yeah, you cannot have that nose across that yellow line.
The 81 of Truex was penalized for too fast entering as well. Hermie.
They told Timothy Peters to not slide the tires. It was fuel only for 17. He's gone.
10 laps to go. Everyone having to pit for one splash of fuel here to get to the end. Daniel Suarez has inherited the lead since Crafton pitted, and Suarez will be looking to come to pit road.
He gets passed by Kyle Busch. Give Busch the lead. Suarez lost his momentum off turn 4 for some reason. William Byron comes to pit road.
William Byron led 25 laps early. What's it going to mean to the finish for the 9 truck? Caitlin is there.
Well, I've been hearing that team talking all throughout the race about how much of a learning experience this is for him, just trying to learn this racetrack, moving around, finding out what works. The 9 is in the pits right now. It looks like they're going to elect to do a 2-tire stop for William Byron.
I like it. I like it. We're going to mix it up. Crafton got gas only. Let's get to Kyle Busch to pit road now. You can see the 18 truck rolling toward his stall.
As well as the 4 of Christopher Bell, so that all the guys that pitted a little bit later have not made their pit stop.
Caitlin Kyle is there.
Kyle Busch locked up that left front. Obviously a guy who's had a bit of an up and down day. Led laps, obviously. Now he's doing a very quick stop, fuel only for the 18 truck.
Christopher Bell is in also. Remember, Daniel Suarez still has not pitted. He is out front, last pitted on lap 68.
And Matt Crafton did stay on the lead lap. Actually, right now he's being shown in the 3rd spot. So critical part for Matt Crafton staying on the lead lap.
Suarez and Johnny Sauter, currently listed 1st and 2nd, will still have to pit. They have not pitted since lap 68.
Suarez has been a bit off the pace. His last lap was a 33.40. I guess he's going to pit this time. Or is he just slowing the pace down, Phil, to try to make it to the end on this gas?
Down back, way down. Plenty of room out back. Plenty of room out back. Save a lot of fuel, Daniel.
So they'd be trying to save to make it to the end. They're not racing for the championship. They're just racing for a win. But can they possibly make it, Hermie?
Well, it looks like Suarez may have that plan, but I can tell you that Johnny Sauter in the 21 has that plan. He's been saving fuel for quite a while, saving big numbers right now in the 21. So we'll see if either one of those 2 guys can make it and spoil the victory party for Matt Crafton.
Well, and both can gamble because the 21 of Sauter already has a win. The 51 of Suarez isn't running for the championship, so if he falls short and runs out of gas, it's no harm, no foul for him. He might as well go for the win.
I love it. We have 5 laps to go here. That's only 7.5 miles.
I'm nervous all of a sudden. I didn't know these guys could stretch it, but remember when we saw Suarez maybe 10 laps ago come low off the 4th turn? We said he lost his momentum. He's been saving gas that long. This is going to be interesting.
Yes.
There's the 21 of Johnny Sauter, also trying to save enough to get to the finish.
Yeah, Suarez has a 13-second lead. 51 of Suarez out of fuel.
Yeah, that wasn't going to work. I'd like to see their calculator, how they thought they could figure that one out.
Yeah. But Johnny Sauter pitted the exact same lap as Suarez.
And Johnny Sauter doesn't have enough gap over Matt Crafton. Matt Crafton's going to get Sauter whether he makes it or not.
Caitlin is there for the 51 of Suarez.
Well, Daniel Suarez has just said throughout the course of this last run, he's still too loose, but as we saw, has to come down pit road for fuel only. Couldn't make it to the end, guys.
Now the only question is, well, Sauter, that lead is dwindling quickly because Matt Crafton is about to get him.
Yeah, there's no way that Johnny Sauter can maintain the speed to stay ahead of Crafton and make it to the end.
And there is the exchange for the lead. Matt Crafton back to the point with 4 to go. 3 to go now as they cross the line.
That's got to be a great feeling for Crafton. His mirror is empty of anyone that can run him down. He just needs to run 3 uneventful laps. He's going to get his 2nd victory in a row. And you know, Matt Crafton has never won back-to-back races.
Add insult to injury, that 51 of Daniel Suarez, too fast entering. So not only ran out of gas, but then got penalized. Of course, at that point, what difference does it make, right?
Johnny Sauter still on the racetrack doing an amazing job with 2 laps to go. He pitted on lap 68. That means he's gone 64 laps on this tank of fuel.
Battle for 8th. Christopher Bell in the 19 of Hemrick with some contact. Well,
look at William Byron. He put on tires during that stop, so he's got some speed. Look at Bell right out next to the outside wall. Those guys are mixing it up.
Remember, Matt Crafton overcoming a couple issues on pit road here. Coming down for the white flag for Matt Crafton.
The final lap for Matt Crafton. There's the move for second as Kyle Busch gets around Sauter trying to save the gas.
Look at this mess. Holy cow.
This is all trying to get to the finish.
That's amazing.
Look at Rico around the top. Christopher Bell into the outside wall.
But they're all chasing Matt Crafton, the 88 of Crafton for the second time in his career, the winner at Charlotte.
Look at this mess. Abreu into the outside wall. Christopher Bell with a big run on the outside of Cameron Haley.
Austin Wayne Self, the 22 truck in the middle of that.
Unbelievable.
Oh, man, Rex on the last lap. That was a hard hit into the outside wall by the 22 truck.
Sure was. Austin Wayne Self there.
Bet you Matt Crafton, glad he didn't have to be a part of all that.
Yeah, we know that Daniel Suarez wasn't able to make it all the way on fuel, but Johnny Sauter did. Tyler Reddick made it all the way on fuel.
What about Matt Tifft?
Yeah, Matt Tifft with a top 5, making it on fuel from lap 74.
Many times Matt Crafton has finished second to Kyle Busch. This is the first time Kyle's finished second to Crafton. Matt Crafton is the winner, and his crew chief, Junior Joyner, is with Caitlin.
Well, Junior, what an interesting day for this 88 team. A couple incidents on pit road. Talk to me about this up and down day that resulted in a win for you guys.
You know, I put us in a bad spot. We missed the travel, didn't get a good start spot. The boxes here are real small. We're in between two really good trucks. Hats off to the pit crew. How about that Crafton fella, huh? He loves it when the sun shines. This Duke and Rhonda Thorson, they're probably back in sunny Sandusky, but sun shining here today on this Menards Tundra. I'm really proud of these guys. I couldn't be prouder.
It's back-to-back wins for you guys. The first time Matt Crafton's ever been able to do that. How's that give you some momentum as we look towards the next race? We got a little break in between this one.
Yeah, we'll take this break and build from it. We got some really good trucks back at the shop. Everybody back at the shop. Triad, Mark Green, Marty Gaunt, Chambers. Awesome horsepower. Man, I told Crafton, we've never won 2 in a row, man. We've been so close, and we did it. So I guess now we go for 3 maybe. I don't want to be greedy, but I love to win.
The goal next is 3 in a row, guys.
Matt Crafton gets the checkered flag and will celebrate.
You think he's licking his chops about going to another mile-and-a-half next in Texas?
Don't you love it, Junior? Junior knows his driver. Matt Crafton likes it when the sun shines. That means it's slick. You got to hang on to it. He uses every bit of that experience. Yeah. I'll hand it to you, Phil. You said experience would overcome youth and enthusiasm. You're exactly right.
What were the 3 guys that you gave me, and I gave you all the young guys?
I told you could have Johnny Sauter, Kyle Busch, and Matt Crafton.
Yeah, and they finished
1, 2, 3.
Thank you.
I don't think Michael's too smart there. He gave you Crafton, Kyle Busch, and Johnny Sauter. I mean, those are 3 of the best ever.
Let's look back. I didn't give him any. He took them all. He took all of them, about 4 other ones. But that's when it was my turn to pick. I had everybody that was about 18 years old.
You got to watch this Phil character.
He's been coming to this speedway since the 50s, I think.
Well, not quite that far back.
He knows a little bit about this place. Kyle Busch was concerned about missing his travels. You know, he heard some issues about the thing bottoming out. I think he's thinking maybe
a packer came out of the spring, or the shock, excuse me.
Hermes with the runner-up.
Yeah, Kyle, looking at the right side of the truck, you got out front for a while, then got back in traffic after your issue on pit road. What was the difference when you got back in traffic?
I don't know. Once we got back in traffic, it just got super tight, like it was laying on the splitter. So I don't know if something came out of place on the front end or what. But you know, just proud of the effort. It's a 4-team deal, and it's not an A+ deal. We got some work to do on this one to get it a lot better and where we need to be. But thanks to Sirius XM Satellite Radio and Toyota and all the guys at KBM that built this thing. It's one of our newer pieces. So you know, it was okay. Just yeah, once I think we had a part failure, it wasn't very good at all, so we got to go back and do our homework.
That's Kyle Busch. He comes home second.
Kyle Busch, the runner-up to Matt Crafton. For the first time in his career, Crafton wins back-to-back races. He does it today at Charlotte. North Carolina Education Lottery 200. Charlotte Motor Speedway, the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. The winner for the second week in a row is Matt Crafton. Here's how he did it a week ago at Dover.
Held off a charging Daniel Suarez to go to victory lane there at the Monster Mile.
His first win of the season for the two-time series champion. And then he came back today here at Charlotte, and he led a race-high 47 laps.
Put it on him again after rallying from a couple of tough pit stops. But the truck was perfect and fast, and Crafton did his job.
Caitlin Vinci is down for the celebration.
Well, Charlotte Motor Speedway is the place that Matt Crafton got his first truck win back in 2008. And today, he finds it the place he gets his second win of 2016. Matt, when you and I talked before the race, you didn't seem too confident. Getting congratulations from teammate Rico Abreu there. You didn't seem too confident in this truck. How did your team make adjustments throughout the course of this race to get you back in victory lane?
Well, the crazy part about it, I mean, we didn't make a whole lot of changes. They made all the changes last night. 2 nights ago, me and Junior went to dinner, and we sat till 11 o'clock and thought of a ton of things, and we had a list probably 20 different things, and I think he changed probably 15 or 20 different things. He got about halfway through the changes yesterday that he was telling me he did. I said, I'm good. I don't want to know any more that you did to it, because we were, honestly, I knew we were off at Dover in practice, but this is the worst we've been in a long time during practice, and they wholesaled this thing, and from lap 1 on, it was game time. And then the first one, I slid through the box, just had a goofy pit box right there, and from there, had another one, and then I lost a few, and I said this thing, this Menards Toyota Tundra, was right there at the end.
And going into this race, a lot of people were saying, Kyle Busch, the guy to beat. What's it mean to you to be able to hold him off, knowing how fast his truck was throughout the course of this race?
Yeah, it was definitely very, very good to be able to beat him. I mean, he's won a lot of races here, and like I said, if anybody can beat Kyle Busch at one of these truck races, you're doing something, and I definitely know we beat him today.
All right, well, congratulations. Matt Crafton makes it back-to-back wins here in the Truck Series, guys.
Well, Johnny Sauter ends up third, but I can tell not extremely happy with the performance, but a good result.
Yeah, our water pulse Chevy, we started out just free, and then, you know, Marcus made what I would consider a good adjustment, and then from there on, we were just way too tight, center off, especially in traffic. And the farther I got back on them restarts, I'd just drive off in the corner and the front end just go straight. So I don't know if we didn't have our attitude quite right or not, but proud of everybody at GMS, all the guys at the shop. Marcus did a hell of a job calling the race, and, you know, we just were trying to save fuel there at the end. Definitely not how you want to finish third, but we've been on the flip side of some bad luck this year, so it was good to have something go our way a little bit.
That's Johnny Sauter. He overcome some adversity to finish third.
Well, and I think it speaks to the expectations of a veteran driver like Johnny Sauter that they can run third and be disappointed with it.
Yeah, and I love the fact that, you know, they knew they weren't going to win the race, so they just adjusted their strategy, and there's no doubt that Johnny probably had to save fuel the entire run after he last pitted on lap 68.
Yeah, and just the job that the crew chiefs do down there, Marcus Richmond calling that race for Johnny Sauter to get him home. Junior Joyner, we talked to Matt Crafton about all the changes they made to that truck. I was down in the garage area Thursday night. Matt Crafton made a couple runs, and he grabbed me and he said, this thing is terrible. I said, go tell Junior to fix it. And I went and told Junior that Matt said it was terrible, he needed to fix it, and Junior had a few choice words for Matt. They've got the perfect relationship. They work so well together, and man, back-to-back wins for that team. Great job.
Yeah, and Michael, you have been one that said you think maybe we could get 8 different winners for the chase. Well, if we do by chance, Matt Crafton just really solidified his spot by winning a second time.
He might win 8 times. Matt Crafton might win 8 times. I'm saying it's 8 or less, and Michael's saying more than 8. I'm sticking with my guess.
Yeah, I think this is going to be such a fun summer watching these kids like William Byron, Matt Tiff, John Hunter, Nemechek race all summer. And, you know, they're just going to continue to gain on Matt Crafton. The more experience, William Byron did a great job today. He got back in traffic, was able to fight through and get a chance to get back in the top 5. Finally falling to a 10th place finish at the end, but steady progress all day for all of our young racers.
Let's go downstairs, check in with Hermie.
Well, catching Brandon Jones, a disappointment last week when you had a really, really good truck. Today you battle for the 11th. What were you guys fighting, and what you need to be a little bit better at to finish higher up on the leaderboard?
Yeah, well, first off, I can't thank Hopeful Warriors enough for coming on board today with, Armed Forces Day and everything that's been going on this weekend. It was awesome to represent those colors and pride on that car. And, yeah, we were just, I think we were just a little too tight, really, talking to a lot of drivers, and I think that's a lot of things that they were saying right there, too. I'd just get behind somebody and the nose would start popping up, and I would just lose it really quick. But I'd get in clean air, and I was just as fast as the leader. So I think we've got something to work with when we get our next one, and looking forward to getting back out here.
All right, that's Brandon Jones, 11th in Charlotte.
They were all chasing that truck, the 88 that belongs to Matt Crafton. The North Carolina Education Lottery 200. He's the winner for the second week in a row. Major League Baseball is back today. Starts with the Diamondbacks taking on the Cardinals in a game you can see only on FS1. Then on Fox, it's the return of Baseball Night in America. Some of the best and the best rivalries as well. Cubs battling the Giants. Maybe it's the Nationals and the Marlins or the Rangers Astros. It's all today on Fox and FS1, or watch it live on Fox Sports Go. Well, the big celebration in Victory Lane centers around the 88 truck of Matt Crafton, who wins for the second time this season, back-to-back weeks. And this is what the updated chase standings look like, with Crafton on top of the board with those 2 wins.
Crafton's flexing his muscles. That's a strong team. He's very experienced. He's poised to make a run at another championship.
How about Spencer Gallagher, though, on the strength of 5 top 10s in a row, up there in the 7th spot? Ryan Truex hanging in there in the top 8.
Yeah, Gallagher did a nice job today managing to salvage that 6th place finish after slipping back at the start. Let's get more on that story with Caitlin.
Thank you, Spencer. Let's talk about your day. 6th place effort. How would you characterize your race here at Charlotte?
Oh, man, I've been the human yo-yo today, up and down and up and down. But to be honest, I'm really not sure what happened to our Legion Travel Chevy. Yesterday at the end of practice, we thought we had real serious speed, and from the drop of the green flag today, we were honestly in trouble all day. But, hey, to have a day like that and come out of here with a 6th place finish, for me, that's a championship day. That speaks to the perseverance of this GMS racing organization. So we'll take it home, work on it, and make it better. But they know we're here. We know what we're doing, so fix it up.
Nice work. 5 top 10s for Spencer Gallagher, guys.
Well, and this is the initial start to the race. So there's Gallagher on the inside, and as you see, just didn't get going, stacked them all up on the inside lane.
Yeah, and that's after thinking Thursday night that he had a serious contender. Just didn't get a very good start, and it was really like that all day. But you really have to give Jeff Hensley and his guys a lot of credit. Maybe they didn't have the fastest truck, but they had a great strategy, made it 66 laps on fuel to get a 6th place finish.
And Phil, if you didn't have a good day on Thursday, it might have been a good thing, because then you were able to adjust your truck and work on it, like we heard Matt Crafton. Spencer Gallagher thought he had a good truck. The team might have just said, all right, it's perfect, let's leave it like it is, and that didn't work for today. You never know what kind of changes these teams are making, but they certainly know that you got to make a change if you're not fast.
Yeah, back-to-back 6th place finishes for Gallagher, and as Phil mentioned, 5 straight top 10s. Well done for that 23 group to rally back. Let's check in back downstairs with Hermie.
Well, few people battled today on the racetrack any harder than your team, Tyler Reddick. You guys had track position to begin, lost it in the middle, battled the truck all day, and ended up salvaging a solid points day.
Yeah, no doubt. Obviously, I was really shooting to win this race today, but unfortunately, we didn't have the balance we needed to and the speed we needed at the end there to be able to compete with Crafton and Busch. So just hats off to my guys. We were really loose all day, and we got it actually too tight there at the last run that we had. And we Doug and Michael, and they immediately went to the clock management and fuel saving mode. So we were able to get a 4th place finish out of what we were running 18th at the time. So really proud of my guys, and we're happy to get the good finish for Cooper Standard and the Careers for Veterans program.
Didn't get a lot of practice, and what you did get was at night. The racetrack throw you guys some curveballs, or what surprised you today?
It most definitely did, no doubt. We were way too loose to begin, and I was so thankful to be up in 2nd place there for a little bit, because if I would have been back in 10th or something racing with those guys, I probably would have felt 18th where we were at the end there. So really thankful for my guys and their heads up on the awareness of the situation, what we had and what we could have got out of it, and fuel mileage got us a good finish today.
Tyler Reddick, top 5.
And a lot of folks from Cooper Standard here to watch Tyler Reddick do his work today. That's the group that's celebrating the 88 of Matt Crafton. Always fun to be able to hang around and put on different hats and get your picture taken, and you're the winner. You've won. Matt Crafton's used to it. Did it again. Second week in a row. After winning last week at Dover, wins today here in Charlotte. Those are some pretty strong numbers.
You know, Michael and I were talking about it during the break. I mean, Matt's been solid, always a contender for a top 10 for about 250 of those 367 consecutive starts, and all of a sudden it's like you flipped a switch. I don't know whether it was he and Junior getting together, and now they're a threat to win each and every week, back-to-back championships. Contended last year for a championship, and we know he's going to contend this year.
You know what's great? When all the teenagers show up, Matt Crafton is the best he's ever been. 39 years old, and he's driving better and working closer with his team and putting up results like never before. That's awesome.
And you see 13 wins in his career. 9 of those have come on a mile and a half, and our next race is
a mile and a half.
A mile and a half, yeah. But right now, let's take care of some business downstairs with Caitlin.
Well, Vince, I'm joined by Daniel Hemrick. Started the race 8th, finished 9th, ran up with the leaders kind of in the early goings of this race. What was it like racing out there? Day race, truck race here at Charlotte.
That's what it's all about. Definitely an equalizer for sure. Really proud of all my guys. We had such a fast draw type Ford F-150, and it's almost disappointing to come on 9th as much as, you know, we led there early in the beginning of the race, and felt like we were making all the right adjustments, keep up with the racetrack. It was fun out there running with Kyle and battling. So we needed this as a team, not to finish that I feel like we deserve, but at the end of the day, we battled all day. We brought a brand new truck to the racetrack, and it really showed it. So just really proud of all my guys. This is I hate we're off for 2 weeks here, and we got to wait to get to Texas, but I wish we could race tomorrow. But it's definitely momentum and something solid we can bring to the racetrack coming back.
Nice job. Daniel Hemrick earns 5 top 10 so far this year. Hermie?
Well, Caitlin, I got over Christopher Bell, 8th place finish, and I thought maybe a little bit disappointed, but you said you had a ball out there today.
Yeah, that was one of the more fun races I've got to run. My Tundra was really fast today. I can't thank Jerry and all the guys on this number 4 Kyle Busch Motorsports team. It's a shame to run 8th when we had a truck that fast. Just I made a mistake there on pit road, had a pit road penalty, and started a little bit too far back. So track position wasn't in our favor, but you know, we got a really fast truck. I'm looking forward to Texas. We definitely passed a lot of trucks today, so we got a good day to build off of, and looking forward to going into Texas.
And things got exciting for you coming right down to the very end of this race. Tell us, off turn 4 back to the start-finish line.
Yeah, it was really tricky over there. I mean, that's a really good race, and we had everyone pretty much for position right there, a couple lap trucks in there, and you know, everyone's trying to get all you can get, and the racetrack got really wide, and we were kind of using all the way from the white line all the way up to the fence. So as a racer, that's all you can ask for, and excited to get to Texas, where another place that we can move around really well, and hopefully you'll see another great race.
That's Christopher Bell. He gets a top 10 here in Charlotte.
Yeah, and after that average finish, the first 3 races of 20th, he has strung them together the last 3 races, 4th, 3rd, and today 8th. We'll talk more with Matt Crafton when we return. Major League Baseball is back today. Starts with the Diamondbacks taking on the Cardinals in a game you can see only on FS1. Then on Fox, it's the return of Baseball Night in America. Some of the best rivalries as well. Cubs battling the Giants. Maybe it's the Nationals and the Marlins, or the Rangers Astros. It's all today on Fox and FS1, or watch it live on Fox Sports Go. Well, the big celebration in Victory Lane centers around the 88 truck of Matt Crafton, who wins for the 2nd time this season, back-to-back weeks. And this is what the updated Chase standings look like, with Crafton on top of the board with those 2 wins.
Crafton's flexing his muscles. That's a strong team. He's very experienced. He's poised to make a run at another championship.
How about Spencer Gallagher, though, on the strength of 5 top 10s in a row, up there in the 7th spot? Ryan Truex hanging in there in the top 8.
Yeah, Gallagher did a nice job today, managing to salvage that 6th place finish after slipping back at the start. Let's get more on that story with Caitlin.
Thank you, Spencer. Let's talk about your day. 6th place effort. How would you characterize your race here at Charlotte?
Oh, man, I've been the human yo-yo today, up and down and up and down. But to be honest, I'm really not sure what happened to our Legion Travel Chevy. Yesterday at the end of practice, we thought we had real serious speed, and from the drop of the green flag today, we were honestly in trouble all day. But, you know, hey, to have a day like that and come out of here with a 6th place finish, for me, that's a championship day. That speaks to the perseverance of this GMS racing organization. So we'll take it home, work on it, and make it better. But they know we're here. We know what we're doing, so fix it up.
Nice work. 5 top 10s for Spencer Gallagher, guys.
Well, and this is the initial start to the race. So there's Gallagher on the inside, and as you see, just didn't get going, stacked them all up on the inside lane.
Yeah, and that's after thinking Thursday night that he had a, a serious contender, just didn't get a very good start, and it was really like that all day. But you really have to give Jeff Hensley and his guys a lot of credit. Maybe they didn't have the fastest truck, but they had a great strategy, made it 66 laps on fuel to get a 6th place finish.
And you know, Phil, if you didn't have a good day on Thursday, it might have been a good thing, because then you were able to adjust your truck and work on it, like we heard Matt Crafton. Spencer Gallagher thought he had a good truck. The team might have just said, all right, it's perfect, let's leave it like it is, and that didn't work for today. You never know what kind of changes these teams are making, but they certainly know that you got to make a change if you're not fast.
Yeah, back-to-back 6th place finishes for Gallagher, and as Phil mentioned, 5 straight top 10s. Well done for that 23 group to rally back. Let's check in back downstairs with Hermie.
Well, few people battled today on the racetrack any harder than your team, Tyler Reddick. You guys had track position to begin, lost it in the middle, battled the truck all day, and ended up salvaging a solid points day.
Yeah, no doubt. Obviously, I was really shooting to win this race today, but unfortunately, we, didn't have the balance we needed to and the speed we needed at the end there to be able to compete with Crafton and Busch. So just hats off to my guys. We were really loose all day, and we got it actually too tight there at the last run that we had. And we Doug and Michael, and they immediately went to the clock management and fuel saving mode. So we were able to get a 4th place finish out of what we were running 18th at the time. So really proud of my guys, and we're happy to get the good finish for Cooper Standard and the Careers for Veterans program.
Didn't get a lot of practice, and what you did get was at night. The racetrack throw you guys some curveballs, or what surprised you today?
It most definitely did, no doubt. We were way too loose to begin, and you know, I was so thankful to be up in 2nd place there for a little bit, because if I would have been back in 10th or something racing with those guys, I probably would have felt 18th where we were at the end there. So really thankful for my guys and their heads up on the awareness of the situation, what we had and what we could have got out of it, and fuel mileage got us a good finish today.
Tyler Reddick, top 5.
And a lot of folks from Cooper Standard here to watch Tyler Reddick do his work today. That's the group that's celebrating the 88 of Matt Crafton. Always fun to be able to hang around and put on different hats and get your picture taken, and you're the winner. You've won. Matt Crafton's used to it. Did it again. 2nd week in a row. After winning last week at Dover, wins today here in Charlotte. Those are some pretty strong numbers.
You know, Michael and I were talking about it during the break. I mean, Matt's been solid, always a contender for a top 10 for about 250 of those 367 consecutive starts, and all of a sudden it's like you flipped a switch. Well, I don't know whether it was he and Junior getting together, and now they're a threat to win each and every week. Back-to-back championships. Contended last year for a championship, and we know he's going to contend this year.
You know what's great? When all the teenagers show up, Matt Crafton is the best he's ever been. 39 years old, and he's driving better and working closer with his team and putting up results like never before. That's awesome.
And you see 13 wins in his career. 9 of those have come on a 1.5 miles, and our next race is
a 1.5 miles.
1.5 miles, yeah. But right now, let's take care of some business downstairs with Caitlin.
Well, Vince, I'm joined by Daniel Hemrick. Started the race 8th, finished 9th, ran up with the leaders kind of in the early goings of this race. What was it like racing out there? Day race, truck race here at Charlotte.
That's what it's all about. Definitely an equalizer for sure. Really proud of all my guys. We had such a fast draw type Ford F-150, and it's almost disappointing to come on 9th as much as, you know, we led there early in the beginning of the race, and felt like we were making all the right adjustments to keep up with the racetrack. It was fun out there running with Kyle and battling. So we needed this as a team, not the finish that I feel like we deserve, but at the end of the day, we battled all day. We brought a brand new truck to the racetrack, and it really showed it. So just really proud of all my guys. This is I hate we're off for 2 weeks here, and we got to wait to get to Texas, but I wish we could race tomorrow. But it's definitely momentum and something solid we can bring to the racetrack coming back.
Nice job. Daniel Hemrick earns 5 top 10 so far this year. Hermie?
Well, Caitlin, I got over Christopher Bell, 8th place finish, and I thought maybe a little bit disappointed, but you said you had a ball out there today.
Yeah, that was one of the more fun races I've got to run. My Tundra was really fast today. I can't thank Jerry and all the guys on this number 4 Kyle Busch Motorsports team. It's a shame to run 8th when we had a truck that fast. Just I made a mistake there on pit road, had a pit road penalty, and started a little bit too far back. So track position wasn't in our favor, but you know, we got a really fast truck. I'm looking forward to Texas. We definitely passed a lot of trucks today, so we got a good day to build off of, and looking forward to going into Texas.
And things got exciting for you coming right down to the very end of this race. Tell us, off turn 4 back to the start-finish line.
Yeah, it was really tricky over there. I mean, that's a really good race, and we had everyone pretty much for position right there. A couple lap trucks in there, and you know, everyone's trying to get all you can get, and the racetrack got really wide, and we were kind of using all the way from the white line all the way up to the fence. So as a racer, that's all you can ask for, and excited to get to Texas, where another place that we can move around really well, and hopefully you'll see another great race.
That's Christopher Bell. He gets a top 10 here in Charlotte.
Yeah, and after that average finish, the first 3 races of 20th, he has strung them together the last 3 races, 4th, 3rd, and today 8th. We'll talk more with Matt Crafton when we return. Hey, a little bit later this evening, the world's best drivers competing in a winner-take-all fight for $1 million. It's the NASCAR Sprint Cup All-Star Race, 8:30 Eastern, right here on FS1, or you can watch it on Fox Sports Go.
Did you see that battle in the showdown just to try to get in this race?
Wow. A couple of 50-lap segments and then a 13-lap run for $1 million.
Yeah. And our All-Star race isn't like the NBA All-Star game where they don't play defense. No. They just sort of run around and shoot the ball.
Well, there's no defense. It's all offense in our race.
It's going to be all take. A lot of times we talk about give and take. It's all
so
take.
So maybe it is the same. It's all offense.
Well, what about it, though? A couple of 50-lap segments to position yourself to get in a spot to run 13 laps to win $1 million.
And the top 9, 10, or 11, depends on what they draw, will have to come to pit road to get tires.
And we saw today in the showdown, those tires are fine, track position's fine. If you've got enough will, enough determination, you can overcome either one of those things.
Right.
And those guys with $1 million on the line are going to be full of themselves tonight. I can promise you that.
We saw quite a show with the showdown. There's no doubt about that. And looking forward to the All-Star race a little bit later this evening. Again, 8:30 Eastern here on FS1. Well, in fact, let's take a look at some of those highlights. Here's segment 1 of the Sprint Showdown.
That set up an amazing finish. Mike McDowell loose off turn 4, slides through the grass, and these guys go at it. And I'm telling you what, one of the best moves I've ever seen at Charlotte Motor Speedway was made by Trevor Bain. He dove 3 wide off turn 2 and made it stick and just barely edged Chase Elliott to the line.
Wow. By that much to win that first segment.
Then in segment 2, good battle there between Greg Biffle and Austin Dillon.
A little strategy. Biffle got 4 tires, parlayed them into getting this second segment win.
And Brian Patty's a gambler, and he gambled and made it work. And then watch this move on the restart. Chase Elliott around the top. He's going to thread the needle, diving to the bottom off turn 4.
Another 4-tire situation. What a battle he had with Kyle Larson. Unbelievable.
Larson makes it stick on the outside. He got down on Chase Elliott. Elliott doesn't spin out somehow, and then Larson crosses over and heads to the bottom when they exit the next corner.
This was an incredible finish. Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott banging doors all the way to the line.
How do you keep control of that car like that?
And there really is justice because that 24 car Chase Elliott got the Sprint fan vote. So there is justice in this world.
And Danica Patrick also got the fan vote. So her team will be in NASCAR's All-Star race tonight.
So Trevor Bain, Greg Biffle, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, and Danica Patrick add their names to the list of drivers that'll be competing for $1 million a little bit later tonight. Well, here in the Camping World Truck Series, it was an exciting one as well. Matt Crafton ended up being the winner, his second race in a row that he's taken at the victory lane. Matt Tifft had a good run as well. Let's go downstairs and check in with Hermie.
Well, Matt Tifft, we saw a lot of trucks slipping and sliding all over this racetrack. It came down to track position and fuel mileage. How did you guys come out of here with a top 5 finish?
Yeah, that was that was the name of the game today. It was just so polar opposite of what we practiced at, and we really struggled with that. We made some really good changes, but we just couldn't turn very well. But you know, when we were back in the spot, we said, okay, we need to play this as a strategy play somehow, and that unfolded well for us. We ended up being able to stay out there at the end. That got us a top 5. So awesome job by Scott Zipadelli and everybody at Red Horse Racing. They've worked their butts off. I told them a couple weeks ago that we've had awesome fast trucks and we haven't gotten the finish we wanted, so we kind of flipped it around this week. But also thanks to NASCAR Heat Evolution for being on the truck. Really cool to see them, what they're doing in video games in the sport. But we'll take a top 5 as it comes.
You guys fairly new, working together and learning a new team. How far along are you guys in that phase, and when do you think you'll be ready to win?
We're getting close. I think we've gotten. We've had really fast trucks, and I thought we had a really fast truck the other day in just different weather conditions. But the biggest thing is just pulling it all together, and I think this is our first day that we've really come and worked together well to get the strategy piece in. So I think we're really close.
That's Matt Tifft of top 5.
Yeah, well done. 3 races, his finishes have gotten better each time. He hopes someday to be standing in victory lane signing autographs like Matt Crafton is right now. We'll talk to the winner when we come back. Back at Charlotte Motor Speedway, NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. We've got our first multi-time winner this season, and that is Matt Crafton. Back-to-back in victory lane after winning last week at Dover. Wins today here at Charlotte. Matt, congratulations on the win, and hey, making a habit of this thing.
Yeah, it's not a bad habit, I guess. There could be a lot worse habits. This Menards Toyota Tundra was unbelievable, especially with how bad it was 2 days ago during practice, and for these two guys swing the bat like they did. Finally, Junior got it off his shoulder and swung it good.
I was down in the garage area kidding with you guys the other day. The way you and Junior go about your business, it's admirable, the relationship you have. I love watching you guys work. But when Thursday night was over, you were 17th fastest, and that meant a bad starting position. But also, your pit stops today, you just couldn't get in your box right. How did you overcome all that, Matt?
Just had just that fast of Menards Toyota Tundra. It was just unbelievable. First one, I just slid right through the box and just, I messed up bad right there. And it was a tough one to get by the 18 and get in that box. I was trying to get it pointed out, and I just completely messed up right there. And then the next one, I thought I got in decent, but then the 71, he didn't do anything wrong. He just got in there, and he was just in there crooked enough where I couldn't get out. And I was a little ticked off, I'm not going to lie. I mean, I was very angry, and so I had to go, man, I started in the back of this thing and did it again, started at the back and did it again. And I was not looking forward to coming to pit road again and having to lose some spots. It wasn't any of these guys that changed the tires or jacked this thing up. They did their job today for sure. It was just pit selection. I'll blame that one on Junior.
Hey, Matt, you and Timothy Peters worked together on that one restart. How important is it? We know the restarts now have become so important. How important was that for you guys to get together to try to take off?
Oh, that was huge. I mean, that was everything. These restarts, and we just worked together, and I talked to my spotter and told him his spotter and just needed to give him a little bit of bump and help him get going. And I knew if I gave him a little bit of shot to get going, I knew I could get by the guy that was second. And that was very, very key. And I knew me and Timothy could go settle it and best man win at that point. And I know Timothy had a very good truck. I was watching him early in the race, so I knew it was going to be tough for sure.
I defined that, Matt, very clearly as cooperation, where you're cooperating together, but as a competition, you guys pushed ahead, and that might have been the key to victory, getting that restart like that.
Oh, absolutely. Just having that shove right there and not hitting him too hard. And I hit him once, and he got a little bit squirrely, and I lifted and just got back to his bumper, and we just became one at that point. And like the tandem stuff there at Talladega we used to have, and just that's really, really big. And this thing was really good, and it was very good to be able to outrun, I mean, a lot of really good trucks.
Did you guys ever give any thought to trying to make it on fuel on that last run? I mean, I'm really shocked. About 3 or 4 trucks were able to make it 66 laps on fuel. We didn't think anybody could do that, but you guys, like you did last year a couple times, but that's a long way to go. Did you guys give it any thought at all?
No, we didn't give it any thought. I mean, this thing was way too fast. I mean, we had great triad horsepower, and I mean, our fuel mileage is good as well, but at the same time, why stretch it? And we knew if we came down pit road, we could still put some fuel in it and be able to go back by them, and that's what we did there at the end.
Matt, how important is it as you win your second race? Not only is it great for you guys to get a second win, but you also keep another team from potentially getting a first victory that would secure their spot in the chase. How much do you guys talk about that and think about some of those strategies already at this point in the season?
Oh, it's definitely. I mean, everybody says, I mean, you're locked in after you win one. And we got to thinking about it. We started talking about it this week. I mean, there's a lot of great competition. There's multiple drivers. There can be more than 8 winners in this Camping World Truck Series. And if there was 9, if there might be 9, 10, and if you're 9th and 10th in points and you think you're locked in, and then you go into the final race thinking you're going to be locked in, I don't think that's going to cut it really.
No,
I agree with you, Matt.
Absolutely. Michael thinks there's going to be more than 8 winners. Phil,
I'm saying 7 or 8.
He's taking the under.
But you can really mess this up for me, Matt. Just win a bunch of them this summer, and you'll knock a bunch of guys out of the chase.
I said you might win 8 yourself. So
I'm fine with that too. I'm fine with that habit.
All right, Matt. Congratulations. Well done. Back-to-back wins, and got you another one at Charlotte. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Going to another 1.5 miles next time, Matt.
Yes, sir. I look forward to it. Texas is a great place, and got a couple of those cowboy hats, so hopefully we can get us another one.
Yep. Perfect segue as we look at the schedule for Texas coming up. Camping World Truck Series qualifying, of course, the setup show, and the 400K. That's June 10th, and you'll see it right here on FS1. Well, it's an exciting day today. We're going to wrap it up here in just a moment, but that man right there did it again, as he has done so many times. Matt Crafton, the winner.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our fans for your support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.
Stay tuned to FS1. Coming up next, it's Major League Baseball on FS1 pregame show. Look at the menu of games we have. Diamondbacks and the Cardinals on FS1 coming up right after us at 3:30. A little bit later this evening, Cubs and the Giants, Nationals and the Marlins, Rangers and the Astros. See it all and Fox Sports Go. Watch it on TV as well. Been a great day. Great to see those blue skies. It's been a while, but boy, it's been a perfect afternoon. Got the truck race in, and we're not done yet. We got the All-Star race tonight.
We're not even close to being done yet. We're racing for $1 million tonight.
And we saw in the showdown earlier how much that $1 million means to these. Just throw a checkered flag in front of these boys, and they're going to go for it. Side by side, fender banging action.
And don't miss that All-Star qualifying when these guys come off the racetrack at 150 miles an hour on the pit road.
We had a fun one here today. Matt Crafton took home the checkered flag and was the winner. Thanks for being with us. The North Carolina Education Lottery 200, won by Matt Crafton. Major League Baseball on FS1 pregame show next.